Okay, I think we're gonna go ahead and get started. Good evening. Hopefully everyone can hear me. If you can, just give me a thumbs up or put in a one in the chat. I would greatly appreciate it. Okay, it seems like we have three in the building. We have Miss London, Milan, Sherry, Lachelle, and Dolphin Deer Wolf. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedules to tune in. So I'll get started in probably a few seconds. Again, I just wanted to make sure the audio was good. Hopefully everybody can hear me clearly. Okay, Jacqueline King put up a one. Thank you so much, Jacqueline. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Once again, my name is Okoye Amos, and thank you for tuning in to my live YouTube channel, Elderly Advice 100, coming to you from the beautiful metropolis of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I always like to throw that in because, a lot of people have been here, and they always, make fun of me. Baton Rouge, that's old country bumpkin city. It's no metropolis, but I just like to throw that in. You can't tell us that though. We think we're in the big boy leagues like Houston and Philadelphia and Seattle, whatnot. But again, enough of the small chat. Thank you so much for tuning in, coming in out of your busy schedule. There's so many different things you could be doing tonight, but you chose to tune in to my video tonight. First thing I want to announce is I want to apologize for last Monday with the phone calls being dropped. That problem has been finished. As you can see in the bottom right-hand corner, the phone number is there. This is working. That's all I can tell you. So I know there were about 4 people who called in last Monday, and they couldn't get in due to the phone calls being dropped. So again, I apologize. But if you call that number 225-397-6922, you will definitely get in. We've got the problem solved. So I appreciate your patience for that. So let's go ahead and get started. Tonight, we can talk about a variety of subjects, but again, if you want to call in and talk about whatever you want. But what I wanted to throw out, first of all, I had a mail email. Well, actually, he emailed me and he actually called me. But one of the things that he wanted me to talk about tonight is that he wanted to, he voiced his concern about approaching women, and women are on cell phones. And, he was saying that he finds that really, 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 really hard to approach women in today's world, because it seems like you either have the earplugs in or, you're on your phones, and, it's like, well, how do I approach a lady and, she's on her phone? So we're going to talk about that tonight as well, ladies, because he brings up a very, very valid point in my estimation. Because first of all, if you're on your phone, I'm guessing that you're taking care of business, and we definitely understand that. But sometimes, ladies, do you realize from a male's perspective, maybe we want to approach you and, you're on the phone or you got your headphones in, and, we don't want to come across as being, disrespectful or anything like that. Or is that a sign not to approach? So if anybody wants to talk about that, we can. Someone says, if we have sex too early, is it possible to get things back on track? And a short answer, in my estimation, no. And I'll elaborate on that later. But we can get straight into the questions, or if anybody wants to discuss the email that I talked about, the man sent me, and the conversation that he and I had as far as women not being available. Well, I'm sorry, not being available, but women on the cell phone. When men, when we find you attractive and we want to come up to you and talk to you, but you're on the phone. Anybody Anybody want to comment on that? Once again, the phone lines are open, 225-397-6922. Somebody said, I used your email advice. Who is that? Miss Lady, I hope I'm saying it right. Is it Sade? Miss Lady Sade, if you could call in, I would really appreciate it. Just to do a quick interview with you, so you could tell us how your event went. I would really appreciate it if you don't mind. Let's see. Somebody said no, he eliminated himself. Hey, and that's a good thing. And see, ladies, I'm glad you're bringing these things up, because part of the vetting / training process is you're going to elevate the good guys, and then you're going to weed out the bad guys. Because I promise you, your female leverage is so powerful. We will chase you across the world. And all you got to do is be feminine. All you got to do is be yourself. All you got to do is if you watch my video about Homer, just give us a little bit of scent, little bit of your scent, and man, when we get on that scent, man, we will hound you like Homer is trying to track down that escaped prisoner. So glad it worked out for you. Yeah, being on the phone seems like a way to avoid attention from anyone. So. What are you saying, Lachelle? Are you saying that that's a tactic that, okay, so if a man sees you on a cell phone, is that code for, like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I'm not interested in any men approaching me right now? Is that what that means? Because I'm going to tell you, I see a lot of beautiful women that I wouldn't mind approaching, but man, they're on that doggone phone, so I'm not going to get cussed out. Okay, she said, yeah, being on the phone seems, let me put it in the chat, I'm sorry. Yeah, being on the phone seems like a, all right, how many we got in the chat? We got 14 in the chat, 6 likes. Thank you so much once again for tuning in. Cash apps, if you guys feel like leaving a donation, I would greatly appreciate it. If not, I definitely understand. All right. So, no, I just mean we want to listen more. Listen to. It says, I just mean, okay, I got to put London's comment up here. She said, no, it just means we want to listen to music. Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute, London. Hold up. Now you can't have it both ways now, London. Come on. Can we come to a compromise? Okay, London, what if it's a guy that you find attractive? What if he checks off all of your, whatever, categories that, make you find a man attractive to you? What if he checks off all those boxes? What happens then? All right. What's a great way for women to enjoy being single? I seem like when we just enjoy our lives, it instantly makes us more attractive. Do you agree? Yes, no doubt about it. We can be, men and women, we can be happy and still be single, but this is just my opinion. Okay, this is just my opinion. My opinion is man was made for woman, and then the woman was made for a man. And I feel that, if we could get on the same page, if you find somebody who you're compatible with, if you find somebody and you vibe together, you find somebody you have the same like interest, if you find somebody and they could be your best friend and your lover, that is a beautiful thing. And so, of course, yes, can we be happy by being single? Yes, we can. But what about sharing your life with a significant other? To me, that's one of the most beautiful things that a man or a woman can experience. Okay, Dolphin Dear Wolf says, should physical attraction toward the man be important to the female? Yes, indeed. I had a great man who treated me really well, take me out on a few dates, but I let it fizzle because I wasn't attracted to him. And you know what, Dolphin D. Wolf? Hey, I totally respect that. I really do. Why? Because we like what we like. And I think that's just a part of human nature. And I applaud you for not for realizing that there was not an attraction. And ending it, because a lot of times, you could, some people have the attitude, I just don't want to hurt somebody's feeling. Some people have a hard time letting someone else down because they may feel that they're hurting their feelings, even though that person has showed so much interest in them. But at the same time, everybody likes what they like. Now, what some people may like, you may not like. But everybody, I think we can agree we like what we like, which also means we don't like what we don't like. So that attraction plays a huge, huge part in being happy in a relationship. So I definitely applaud you on that. Because, if that attraction is not there, I mean, what else you got going on? I mean, what can hold it? What else can hold it together? All right. So, thank you everybody for joining in once again. 16 in. We got the likes up. Appreciate that. Okay. So back to the question at hand. We're talking about the cell phones, and then we'll get into some questions. Someone commented that when I'm on my phone, I'm listening to music, but are you open to maybe staying off your phone for a little while? Let's say you're in a public place, maybe in the grocery store, or you're out and about, a place where, let's get this call real quickly. Hello, caller. Hello, caller. Yes, can you hear me?
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me? Hello. Okay, so going back to the cell phone, some of you may have tuned in late. I had an email and a short conversation with a guy who says that he doesn't have a problem approaching women, but there's so many women that are on their phones. You got the headphones in, things of that nature. He feels that it could be disrespectful to call in. Hello? Yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, what's your name? Jacqueline, where are you calling from?
Fort Worth, Texas.
Thank you so much for calling in. What's your question?
Oh, just changing the subject a little bit, but I did respond saying that a real man would go ahead on and approach a woman. You never know why they're on the phone.
Okay.
But I called with a question.
Yes.
I'm single and looking forward to dating again and possibly marriage.
Excellent.
Do you think that the location that you are in is important? The location you're in, because I heard someone saying, stop being available in a empty pond. What's your response to that?
Okay, so you're in Fort Worth, right?
Pardon me?
Are you calling from Fort Worth, Texas?
Yes.
Yeah. First of all, thank you for calling. I just want to make a real quick comment to the comment you made about the cell phone, if you don't mind, and then I'll answer your question.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just feel like a man should, if they're interested, they should not be afraid to say they're interested.
Yeah, but even while you're on the phone, I mean,
Yeah, but they never know why you're on the phone. So don't pass judgment and say, "Oh, she's on the phone. She must be talking to some man or whatever."
okay,
You never know why they're on the phone.
okay, all right, yeah, yeah. All right, thank you for that. Now, back to your question. Your question was centered around the place that you live in.
Yes.
Can you rephrase it for me one more time to make sure I
I
got a
was
clear
just
understanding?
saying, I heard a preacher was saying, well, anyway, basically, it was supposed to be available appropriately anyway. I'm single, looking forward to dating again, to possibly marry. He
Excellent.
was saying to be patient and to stop being available in an empty pond where there's no one there to date.
Hmm.
So my question, do you think that location is important where you're located?
Of course, I mean, okay, of course it is. Now you're in Fort Worth. You're in one of the most fastest, most progressively growing places in the United States. You are in heaven. I mean,
Yeah.
Fort. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just say yes.
Yeah, Fort Worth is booming. I mean, you got Fort Worth and you got Frisco and you got those surrounding areas. You got Arlington and not counting. I mean, we can't leave out the Big D, Dallas. So
Yeah.
you're in a perfect location. You said you want to get back into the dating scenes. Let me ask you this. Okay, do you have a method in place to properly vet men where you can have a system in place to exalt the good guys and weed out the game players?
Yes. I go to my sisters in Christ and my sisters, my blood sisters and my brothers.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. So if a man asks for your phone number and you're attracted to him, what type of system
Well,
do you have in
that was
place?
a mistake I made with this man that I met before I moved to Fort Worth. He lives in Fort Worth.
Mm-hmm.
He came up to me. He said, "Hi, my name is blank. I would like to get to know you. Can you give me your number?"
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like nonchalant about it because I'm really thinking the man not gonna call me. I said, "Sure, why not?"
Mm-hmm.
I gave him my number,
Mm-hmm.
and before I got off the cruise ship, he was calling and texting me so much. I'm like, this need to stop.
How many times did he call and text you?
Every day,
Really?
2 or 3 times a day.
Yeah. So eventually, what happened?
I'm not going into all my personal, but I moved.
Okay.
I was moving anyway. I was going to move to Houston, Texas, where my son is, but I met him on a cruise ship, and I found out that he lived here in Fort Worth. So I came to Fort Worth to visit, and I decided to come here. And I'm so thankful that he wasn't the only reason I moved here. But
Yes.
I'm glad I came here. I got to meet a lot of nice people,
Yes.
become a member of Oak Cliff Bible Fellowship Church where Dr. Tony Evans is, and just, get into the single life ministry and do a lot of things. So I don't have any regret for that. But he ended up not being the person that I thought he was.
Yeah. Yeah. And that happens a lot. But again, going back to Fort Worth, you are in the perfect place to meet all.
Yeah, the men are nice and they smile at you and stuff.
Yeah.
But about like the cell phone, why don't they approach us and say something if they like you?
Well, see, you got to look at it from our point of view too. Now, see, when I see a lady that I want to approach and I see she's on the cell phone, the first thing pops in my mind is if I attempt to talk with her, she's probably gonna give me a look like, fool, can't you see I'm on the phone? And so, it could kind of come across as being disrespectful, or you don't care about, she's in her personal space. She's on the phone. She could be talking business. It could be a family emergency. See, we don't know. But for guys, when we see you with the earplugs in your ear, it's almost like, it's like, okay. is she really on the phone, or is she really listening to her music, or is she just sending out a subliminal message saying, "Hey, don't bother me. I'm not in any mood for any men to come in my face." So I guess what I'm trying to say is it's so hard for us to read your mind, you know?
Well, I never been on a cell phone and a man approached me. I was on the cell phone, but if I was, I would. If he was approaching me and wanted to talk, I would tell them to hold on a minute and see what he wanted to say.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
that would be the appropriate thing to do, I think.
Okay. Okay. But you can see it from a male's perspective, and how we can see that as being, crossing the line. And the last thing we want to do is offend you before we even, get to know you, because that'll be.
I won't be offended if you come up in the appropriate way and say hi or whatever. But I would even hold my conversation and say, "Hold on a minute."
Wow.
Hold on a minute, and give him that attention and see what his game is and what he's not game. I don't like the word game.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they're playing a good game. Don't play this bad game.
I got you. Okay. Well, I appreciate you calling in. Anything else you wanted to ask?
That's about all. So location is very important. But you say I'm in a great location. But I'm getting ready, if it all works out, to move back home to Georgia.
Wait, you moving to Georgia?
I'm from Georgia. I moved to Fort Worth from Georgia.
Okay. Listen, in today's world, in what we're in April of 2022, I can't think of a better place than the Dallas-Fort Worth area to meet single professional people. I mean,
they're out there, but they're not approaching.
Listen.
Well, I take that back. They're approaching, but they don't. They're afraid. I'm gonna put it that way. That's what it seems like. They're approaching. They'll smile. They'll help you with your buggy, get your groceries, help you lift stuff and all this stuff like that. But that's about it.
Okay. Somebody said, "Don't stop your conversation. That's needy." What do you feel about that? Do you see that?
Don't stop the conversation.
Yeah.
If a man approached me, I can't talk to two people at one time. I would have to tell my person I'm talking to, hold on a minute, then tell the man hello or something.
Yeah, I understand.
You treat people the way you want to be treated, whether they're a man or a woman.
Okay.
Even if I'm on the phone and a lady comes up and she says, "Hey, how you doing?" and I'm going to have to stop one conversation to have another one to say hello,
True. That's very true.
And that's the main principle. Treat each other the way we want to be treated.
That's true. That's a great comment. Yes. But I tell you what, I wish I were in Dallas, Fort Worth, in that area. Man.
Well, I'll be 61 years old April the 13th.
Wow.
So
congratulations.
Yes.
Congratulations. Well, good luck on your dating, and call in.
Thank you. I just trust God that He's gonna put me in the right place, and I'm not stressed about it. I mean, I've been married twice, but I mean, the last one wanted me back, but I can't go back to toxic.
Mm-hmm. But once again, you are in the perfect place when you talk about Dallas Fort Worth. My goodness.
All right.
Okay. All right. You have a good night.
We'll see. Thank you for taking my call.
All right. No problem. Take care. All right. Phone line is open. Anybody want to call in? The number is at the bottom of the screen, 225-397-6922. Italy says, "I would not give a man my number without a conversation." Hey, I respect that. I wouldn't have gave that guy on the cruise my number so fast. That wasn't even a good pickup line. Okay, Italy, hey, we respect your opinion on that. Now, I'm a firm believer that in today's world, a woman, you shouldn't give a man your phone number anyway. You should give him, in my estimation, an email address, and I'll talk about that later. Hello, caller. Yes, how are you doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, hear you just fine. Thank you so
Good.
much for calling
This
in.
is
What's
Miss
your
Lady
name?
Sade calling in.
I'm sorry.
This Miss Lady Sade calling in. It's a little bit of a delay between the stream and the phone.
Okay. Thank you for calling in. What's your question or comment?
So I don't really have a question. I have a couple of comments first, and then maybe I'll have questions. So the first thing I want to say about as far as a male or man approaching a woman that's on the phone,
Mm-hmm.
one thing I got from your listening to your videos and watching your videos is you said that it's important to make a man think.
True.
And
Amen.
so if a man is not thinking, you got to get creative. If I'm on the phone, pass me a note. Get a little elementary with it. Hey, I see you're on the phone and you're busy. If you're interested, here's my number. Or I
Yes.
saw you and I really think that you're attractive or beautiful. If you have time, contact me, whatever the case may be. Or here's my Instagram if they don't want to get too formal.
Wow.
But I do think that it is very important for men to think outside the box.
Wow.
And then also, as far as um, it's like anything, like you said, if you want it, you're going to go after it, right? They're going to go out of the way. They're going to think outside the box because I know that if a man wants something, they're going to figure out a way to get to it, like you say all the time. So that's just my perspective.
Wow. I love your thinking.
Thank
I
you.
love the way you think.
Thank you.
Tell us.
And I think that too,
Go
as
ahead.
far as my question, hold on, because my TV is running at the same time. Hold on one second.
Okay.
I'm streaming you on my TV. And then let me see if I can turn this on. Okay, perfect. Then I did have a question for you in regards to, I know that you said that a lot of times, the prize is a man getting inside of a woman's pants, And so my question is, how does a woman who does have a higher standard as far as I don't want to sleep around and stuff like that, how does that woman start to date? How does she introduce herself to the dating world?
Excellent question. Okay. Now, let me start off by saying this. Men, in the initial stages of the relationship, ladies, you have to understand this about men. See, we do not understand talk, okay? See, don't tell a man you're a lady that likes to take things slow. You got to show him. Show him you're a lady that likes to take things slow. Don't tell a man you're a virtuous woman. Show him you are a virtuous woman. Don't tell a man you're the type of lady that has high values and standards. You got to show him that you have high values and standards. So let's say, for example, you meet a guy, at a sandwich shop or whatnot, are you at the grocery store or you're pumping gas, and you meet a guy and you are attracted to. That's when, right there, you got to show him. And he walks up to you and he starts the conversation. It's right there that you got to show him that you have standards, you have morals, you have character, you're a virtuous woman, you like to take things slow. That's when it starts right there. So how does it start? Okay, of course, we're going to have a conversation. Conversation is going to go something like, hi, my name is Michael. I saw you, pumping gas or whatnot. I just wanted to stop by and just compliment you. You're a very beautiful lady or whatnot. Can we exchange numbers? Blah, 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 blah. So I'm a firm believer, once he gets to the can we exchange numbers, and remember, this is a guy who you find physically attractive. Nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with you finding him physically attractive. Why? Because we're all human. So if this is a guy that you're attracted to, he approached you in a gentleman-like way. He was not disrespectful. His conversations seems like, he's an okay guy. What you have to do is put him in compete mode. Now, these that I'm going to talk about one word you may have read in my book or you may have saw some of my videos, but there is one word that you can use that's going to put him in compete mode, and then I'm going to talk about not only does that put him in compete mode, but that keeps your female leverage. Because see
Maybe.
ladies, I'm sorry, go ahead.
The word is maybe.
You already know. So you know the word is maybe. When men hear maybe, we know there's a chance we may not. He's going to focus on doing what he has to do to get that number. So again, see, that puts him in compete mode, and it also keeps your female leverage. Why is female leverage so important? Because you have to understand, ladies, by nature, men are naturally designed and wired to pursue you. We are. And guess what, ladies? We love pursuing you. But I think where a lot of ladies drop the ball at is where they may meet a man and they may be so attracted to the man in the initial stages. And once again, nothing is wrong with that, but you let the man know too early how cute or how fine he is, or how much he means to you, or how much you like his personality, or, you know, whenever you see his text or hear his voicemail message, how it makes your heart melt. And see, I think you may reveal the way you feel about him too early, and what that does is that kind of takes that female leverage away from you, and now it's transferred over to us, because when we start hearing those things, you know, our ego starts to get inflated. And then, you know, when we start hearing these things, we start putting two and two together. Okay, well, you know, she told me that she likes my conversation. She told me that she finds me attractive. She told me that every time I call, it makes her heart skip a beat. So when we start putting those things together, we say, well, guess what? Maybe sex with her is right around the corner. So these are things that you have to keep in mind, ladies, because see that female leverage that you have is very, very important, because men, we know you have the leverage. But one thing, well, a couple of things that we're banking on. Number one, you don't know you have the leverage. And number two, if you do, we'll try subtle things to get that leverage from you. For example, I'm pretty sure you're hearing this term that's being thrown around the internet, high value man. Okay, everybody's, you know, throwing that term around. Okay, let's talk about high value man for a second. Now, before I get into that, I'm just going to lay this brief example, or this brief analogy. See, when people talk about a high value man, I relate that to what I call a pawn shop mentality. Okay, what is a pawn shop? A pawn shop is no matter how you look at it, you may say, well, that's for the poor people. It's on a specific, in a particular part of town where people fall on hard luck, and you know they got to sell their stuff. But see, a pawn shop, ladies, is one of the most lucrative businesses in America, or in the world. Why? Because there's such a high percentage of sales as far as the uptick of the products. So let me just explain what I'm trying to say, and I promise you all of this is going to add up. Okay, the pawn shop mentality and how that ties in with a high-value man. Okay, see, the pawn shop owner or the manager of the pawn shop, the name of the game is what? Devalue the product. That's the name of the game, devalue. So if I walk into a pawn shop, let's say I have a ring that's worth a 5-carat ring that's worth $10,000. The pawn shop owner knows what the ring is worth because he looked it up, but he's gonna say, nope, it's worth $2,500. And so if the person is so down on their luck, they'll say, you know what, take the ring, give me the $2,500, and as soon as they take the ring and sell the ring, the guy's going to put it in the case and sell it for $10,000 or higher, because he knows the value of that. Okay, so what does that have to do with high value man? It's that same mentality. See, men know women's worth, but what they do is they say, I'm a high value man. Okay, I'm the CEO of XYZ company. I'm a CPA. I'm a medical doctor. I'm an esquire. I have all these titles and whatnot behind my name. So I'm up here, and now they put the woman down here. So they know, a man knows a woman's worth, but the same thing that happens in the pawn shop, they just devalue it. They say, well, no, you're not worth this. I'm the high value man. You need to compete with me. You need to sleep with me in, a week or 2 or 3 weeks or less. If you want to be if you want to be in my company, if you want to rub shoulders with the people that I rub shoulders with. So it's that same mentality that the men that are parading around calling themselves high value, they just look at women and just say, we're just going to devalue.
And
We know
I
you're
don't
the
mean to cut you
prize,
off.
but we're going to flip the script and say we're the prize. And so women, if you fall for that, then you're going to be just like that person at the pawn shop that had a $10,000 ring, but you didn't understand the value and you sold yourself short.
And I think that too, what happens a lot of times is that they try to test women.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that a lot of times too, as women, because we do deal with certain things, and I'm not just putting it all on women, we deal with certain things that make us feel like we're less than. We may have had a cycle of traumatic relationships. We may continue to attract the same type of person. And it's like, well, it must be me. And a lot of times it's not us. You know, we do have the opportunity to raise our value just like anything else. If you put equity into a home, the value goes up.
That's right.
If you take your time and you educate yourself, even if it's not going to school, but you educate yourself on finance, you educate yourself on, you know, whatever it is that you feel like makes you a better person. If you put value into going to the gym and your appearance, your body, your whatever makes you feel fulfilled, no one can devalue you because you don't have to settle. You like, I know what I'm worth. I'm not going to play this game with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to even play this game with you. You can't tell me what I'm worth based on your perspective of a woman, based on the fact of caliber of women that you have chosen, of what you're qualified for. Like, even credit, you have to qualify for a certain level. You can't tell me what you qualify for in my bank because you know, I write the loans around here. And it's not the matter of, I'm reading this comment. I'm reading this comment. It's not the fact of women being stubborn, especially not women who value themselves. I feel like some women have made it so easy for men to do anything that when a woman says, you can't just do me any kind of way, then that woman is deemed to be difficult. But it's like, no, I just see that I'm worth something and I'm not going to let you treat me any kind of, if you want to take that to the back to the pawn shop, take it over there. But it's not fair to women who invest in themselves to get lowballed and then men be like, oh, there's something wrong with them. There's nothing wrong with, because at the end of the day, you have to think of, this is who's going to be rearing your children. This is who's going to carry your name if you decide to marry her. And then you be mad because you got bamboozled by some fake gold and you got bamboozled by something that looked like a diamond because you wanted to pass over the woman that made you work for it. And that's just my opinion.
Oh my goodness. You are a breath of fresh air. Where are you calling in from?
I'm from Orlando, Florida.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I love your mentality. You are spot on. You know your worth. Oh my goodness. I'm just proud of you. Would I be out of line if I ask your age? If not, you know, no big deal.
My grandmother said, if a woman tell you her age, she'll tell you anything.
Okay. All right. Cool.
But I'm in my 30s. If that's any consolation, I'm in my 30s.
That's fine. But thank you so much. Again, you're just a breath of fresh air. I'm hoping you start a podcast because the knowledge that you have, the wealth of knowledge that you have, and you know your worth. See, you could spot BS a mile away. And for sure. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I can definitely. I'm not easily available. I don't just, subject myself to anything because that's not fair to me. Yeah. I've been through that. I've done that. Yeah. And I will say that I want women as a collective, for all of us to find someone to look up to, if that makes sense. Like, I had to one day say to myself, I didn't have any role models that I felt like I wanted to look up, so I became my own role model. Wow. And so, sometimes, a lot of times in the collective, we get so caught up in the media. And one thing one of my friends says is, people take entertainment and make it real life. Cardi B tells us not to have a man. City Girls tell us not to have a man. All these women of the younger generation tell us not to have a man, while they all have men. They all are in relationships. They may not be healthy relationships, but they're all in relationships. So at the end of the day, like my archetype is Savannah Jones, which is LeBron Jones' wife. Savannah James, which is LeBron James' wife. Yeah. She's classy. She's got it going on. She's never in the news. They're never in the news as a family. And you have to have people that you want to look up to. And as far as my decision not to have sex, it's because everything is so spiritual now. You can connect with the wrong person and not have no money. You can connect with the wrong person and losing your mind. You can connect with the wrong person and this person's passing on spirit to you. And you're like, why am I depressed? Wow. Why am I suicidal? Why do I feel like I can't make it in this world? And it's the person that you're connecting yourself to, if they don't value themselves enough not to connect with everybody. Okay, I'm done.
Wow. My goodness, you got to get your podcast up and running. What are you going to call
I
it?
do. I actually do have a podcast. It's called Pretty in the Paint podcast.
Oh, hold on. Let me write that down. What is it called again?
Pretty in the Paint.
Okay, so that's PRETTY in the paint.
Yeah, like pretty, and then like in the paint, like basketball.
Yeah.
So I'm finding my footing with my podcast because I don't want everything to be about love and relationships. I really want it to be about mastering yourself and loving yourself and leveling up. But ultimately, as I continue to grow through my podcast, I hope to share that with the world.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for calling in. I really appreciate it. I know the listening audience really appreciate those jewels of knowledge that you dropped. And you've been a tremendous blessing to the show. Keep up the good work. Stay strong. And I'm just glad to see, a young lady that has her standards high and refuses to drop her standards. Because that's where I feel a lot of women drop the ball at. They may start off with standards high, but they'll start to drop them. And have you noticed that when you put a man in compete mode, that we try harder? Have you noticed that?
Absolutely. I feel like a sense of mystery is like a competitive edge for a woman.
Yeah.
Because like if you're busy, like if you have something to do, like and that's one of the big things that I'm trying to start doing. Like I want to take up a hobby. Like I want to make pottery. I want to go ride horses. I want to go doing wine tasting. Like where I live, the club is very much a big thing. Like everybody goes to the club, but it's always the same people. Like where's the Broadway shows here? Where are the things that actually force you to be cultural? Because you can actually take a man and expose him to that. And if he doesn't want to go, that's maybe not your person, but you have to find things that give you sustenance, because the reality is every woman walking around has a vagina.
Wow.
So you have to figure out what is something that gives you the leverage. Because like I had a man say to me like that women have to compete. I don't have to compete for anybody.
Thank you.
I'm not going to compete with you.
Thank you.
If you chose her and then now you upset because you where you at, that's not my problem. I'm still over here living life. So that's just kind of how I see it. And I think that it's important to just have levels to yourself and not just be one way.
Yes.
So.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you so much for calling in. Don't be a stranger. We'll be back at it on Thursday and every Monday.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me.
All
Good
right.
night, everybody, and good luck in your love journeys.
All right. Thank you so much. Oh, wow. That was a beautiful call. Ladies, let me just say this. I'm 54 years old. I have no skin in the game. One of the things that I want to do, I don't know if you know my story. I made a video. If you go on my playlist, the only thumbnail in my playlist is going to be a black and white thumbnail, and that couple is my mother and father. And I saw with my daddy the turmoil and the pain and the agony and destruction and the chaos that my daddy caused in my mother's life. And I do not want to see any woman go through the agony and suffering that my mother went through dealing with my father. My father was basically a man that just ran the streets pretty much his whole life, never committed to one woman, had 16 children, and he bragged about it. I mean, he would brag and say, I got 16 children, was not in any of his kids' lives. I mean, my father did not care if we were sleeping under a bridge. He didn't care, if we were homeless. He didn't care if we didn't have anything to eat. He was in Chicago just having a ball. And, my mother was single with 4 kids. And, one thing about kids, we may not understand what's going on, but a kid can pick up on certain things, especially when they see their mother going through certain things. And as children, my siblings and I, we could always pick up when mother was having a bad day because number one, she would just get in a shell where she just didn't want to be bothered. And, we knew don't mess with her when she gets in that shell, because when she gets in that shell, she's liable to lash out. But when we got older, we understood that, when she did lash out, it wasn't that she was really lashing out at us, but she was lashing out at the situation that she was in, because my mother was basically, just a naive Louisiana country girl and ran across a guy with a lot of game. And my daddy had the gift of gab. He could talk. And, she just got caught up in that situation where she really thought that he was the man for her, and the lies and all the other things that he promised her the world and things of that nature to get away from Louisiana and move her up to Chicago. But when she moved from Louisiana to Chicago, she saw the real him. And it was abusive, a lot of domestic violence, like I said, a lot of chaos, a lot of instability. And I don't want to see any lady go through the type of the pain that I saw my mother go through. It was a very, very unfortunate situation, but it is what it is. It happened. So, all right. Phone line is clear. Anybody want to call in? Let's see. We got 40 in the chat. Thank you so much for tuning in, taking time out of your busy schedule. Once again, the phone line is open. Anybody want to call in? Again, the topic we were talking about tonight, some of you may have just joined in. We were talking about a guy who I had a brief conversation with, and he left me an email, and he said, hey, I don't mind approaching women, but women got to get off the cell phone. You got those earplugs in your ear, and, some guys are ready to approach you. Some guys are ready to, say, hello, how are you doing? Hello, caller, how you doing? Yes, can you hear me? Yes, go ahead.
Hello, I have a question about someone who wants to wait to marriage. Is it possible in this day and age, or how to go about it? Like, should it be addressed early, or should it be later down the road?
Wait. What's your question again?
I'm waiting for like a person who's abstinent or like celibate and want to wait to marriage to have sexual intercourse.
That's a good thing. You're saying that's what you want to do, correct?
Yeah, and is it possible in this day and age, or how do you go about it? Because every time I try to talk to a guy and they find out, it always ending. So it's like making me lose hope.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me just tell you this. Don't lose hope, because there are plenty of men who will recognize what you're trying to do, and not only recognize what you're trying to do, but they will respect what you're doing and go through that process. I think what has transpired is you just ran across some bad apples, because there are plenty. And when I say plenty of bad apples, there are. What do I mean by bad apples? I mean, there are so many men out there that are just trying to get sex from any woman walking, or any woman that's available to them, and they just want sex, maybe, a F buddy or friends with benefits, and that's basically it. So I'm glad that you did not fall for that, and you stuck to your morals and your values, saying that, okay, no, I don't want to do that. I want a man who's going to respect my wishes and respect that I want to remain abstinent until we get married. Now, trust me, there are a lot of men who are looking for a lady just like you. I promise you that. Now, the thing is, you got to have a system in place to be able to elevate those guys and then weed out the bad guys. And that's one of the things that I always talk about. Do you have a vetting process? Do you have a training process in place that can elevate the good guys, weed out the bad guys? Because all of them, see, the good guys are going to present themselves as angels, and guess what? The bad guys, they're going to present themselves as angels too. They're going to be perfect gentlemen. They know the right things to say. They know the right things to do, so they know exactly what to do to try and play a role to be whatever type of man they think that you want them to be. So let's talk about your vetting system. Do you have a system and process in place to properly vet a man? And if so, I would like to hear it.
Um, I do have a vetting process, but I don't know. I think I'm still in a process of trying to like I guess rebuild it again because I think I was going about it wrong. But I have like a strong cutoff game. Like any first red flags, I just cut it off because I just don't have the energy to go back and forth. Or if somebody who's not consistent is like something that I noticed very right away.
Mm-hmm.
And I just cut it off. But I don't do like a step by step thing, which I think I should like sit down and really do that.
Yeah. Let me tell you what I'm a proponent of the step by step thing. See, you have to understand, men, we are some cunning individuals. And so what we'll do is when we first meet you, let's say you meet a man and you are physically attracted to him, but let's say it's a man with bad intentions, but he's just, going through the process of playing the game. See, what's going to happen is he's just going to remain quiet and he's going to see how you play it. He's going to see, okay, how do you carry yourself? Do you carry yourself like a queen? What type of places do you like to go to? What type of conversations do you like to have? Let's say you got a social media account. What type of pictures do you post on social media? See, men will just sit back and just analyze situations first and then come up with a proper strategy to and break your defenses down and see where they can attack you at your weak spot at to eventually get you in bed and have sex with you. So you're saying you don't have like a step-by-step process? Let's say you meet a man, you're attracted to him, you give him your phone number. He calls you up and he says, okay, I'd like to go out on a date with you this coming Saturday. Now, this is a guy that you're attracted to.
I always try to pretend I'm too busy in the beginning. I don't usually take the first offer and like, oh, well, I'm busy that day. But honestly, I never really talked to a guy that I'm really attracted to.
Really?
Like it's something that, yeah, in my opinion, like I'm not really highly attracted to like most guys that try to talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
Sadly enough, and I just kind of dealt with like.
Mm-hmm.
You come up to me because I don't
Could I ask you what city you're calling in from?
Omaha. I go to school in Omaha, Nebraska, but I'm from Houston, Texas.
Okay, so you're from Houston, but you're in Omaha, Nebraska right now.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay. How's the dating scene in Omaha, Nebraska, if you don't mind me asking?
Honestly speaking, it's not really good because most people are like married because it's got kind of like an old town. So, it's like a lot of like couples, like so it's not really a good dating scene.
I'm sorry. It's definitely not like Houston, correct?
Sorry?
I said it's definitely not like Houston, correct?
No.
Yeah.
I think Houston is a little bit more chaotic.
You think? Okay.
Because I think everybody has somebody, in the corner somewhere.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, it makes a lot of sense. It does. Did I answer your question? Did you have another question or another comment?
Oh no, I think you did perfectly answer my question. I think that was like my main question is how to go about this new dating life, trying to be absent.
Okay, so you're saying right now you're open to dating.
I'm open to dating. It's just I haven't been found yet by the right person. So.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, let's make sure We're on the same page. So you're in Omaha, Nebraska, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And
Yes.
you're asking me what's my advice on for you getting back into the dating scene?
Yeah. What is the best move around? Because it being very isolated, and I travel back and forth to Omaha all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard to like really cultivate a real relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah,
So you're an
it's
outgoing
something.
person. I'm guessing you're a person that likes to get out and explore and do different things.
Randomly because I'm in school, it's just kind of hard to balance and the work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a full time student. I
Okay.
have a part time job,
Okay.
so it's like it's hard for me to. I fall easily to be in my home, but naturally speaking, I like to do stuff.
Okay. Okay. Let me give you my advice. And again, this is just me coming from a 54-year-old male. All right. I think that you could stand out from so many other women and be one of the most attractive women in Omaha, Nebraska. Not saying that you aren't, and not saying that you don't do this. I'm just going to throw it out there because you got to understand there are a lot of women who are in the same situation as you. They want to date, they want to find a nice person, and have a meaningful relationship. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, men, we are masculine. Okay, see, nothing attracts a masculine man. Nothing attracts a masculine man more than femininity. And one of the ways I feel that you can accentuate your femininity is heels and dresses. That's just me. Now, I'm not telling you how to dress, but if you want to get a man's attention and accentuate your femininity, because it's something about being feminine that makes men, we stop in our tracks. I mean, we just stop in our tracks and we can spot you and our eyes will just follow you that whole, wherever you going, we'll just follow you because we love to see a woman in her feminine atmosphere, with the heels and the dresses and, the nails and the hair. Now, again, I'm not saying that's what you have to do, but if you really want to stand out and, have men just, and you what you'll notice is it's going to be, in a lot of instances, it's going to be the good, positive attention. You may be walking towards a door. The man could be behind you. In a lot of instances, we'll run in front of you just to beat you to the door so we can open it up. Just because it's that femininity that has attracted to us, being soft and being soft as a pillow and just that look of being soft and feminine, and the walk that a woman has, the statue, and how the heels kind of accentuates your body and your curves and things of that nature, and then to top it off with a dress. Oh my goodness! Now again, that's only my advice. I'm not saying that you don't dress that way already, but in this competitive world that we live in today, if you really want to stand out, in my opinion, heels and dresses are a perfect combination for any woman to stand out and, just make men, make us stop in our tracks, stop traffic. We just have to look at you. We might follow you around in the store and not in a stalking type way. We're just attracted to that femininity,
Yeah, let me start buying some more dresses.
I tell you, it's a powerful tool. Uh, and again, I hope I'm not coming across as being chauvinistic or anything, but it seems as if ladies have gotten away from that. To me,
Yeah.
yeah. But that's just my opinion. I hope I didn't offend anyone. But that's just the way I see it. Miss Angie B says that is true. I get more looks wearing heels and dresses. Listen, ladies, that is like you're pouring something in our drink and we drink it, and it's like we're just hypnotized when we see you in the heels and the dresses, and just your femininity is just exuding through that. Because again, see, ladies, you have to understand. See, we don't need any help being masculine. So the more feminine you are, I promise you, that's going to raise your level of attention. You know, some ladies have commented or emailed me saying that, you know, men don't approach anymore. I tell you what, you put those heels and dresses on, we coming. And we don't care if you're on a cell phone or not. You go back to those heels and dresses, my goodness. Man, and again, it's going to be that good attention, you know, not that disrespectful stuff where, you know, people just approach you and, you know, it's a turn off from the get go, and, you know, you just wish someone would get out of your face. But that's a powerful combination, you know, the heels, the skirts, the dresses, things of that nature. So somebody said my feet will hurt, but I still do it. I know that's right, Miss Angie B. Because I promise you, ladies, listen, it drives us crazy. It really does. All right? There's a reason why you go in the strip club, strippers got on what? Heels.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a reason why they don't have on retro Air Jordans. Because they know, okay, this is a job. I need to get this money out of this man. I need to give him a fantasy. I'm going to put on what he likes. So there's a reason, ladies. I mean, any strip club in the world, it's always going to be heels. Why? It's something about heels. My goodness.
Yeah.
That drives me crazy. All right, somebody said a good fragrance. Hey, that's good. That's great advice, Miss Sade. Miss Angie B said I also have lower heels. So I hope that helped you out. Any other questions or comments you may have?
Does it have to be super like high heels, or can it be like very low? Because
yeah,
sometimes it's hard to get.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just like, sometimes it's kind of hard to get around. So.
No. They don't have to be the. I mean, I'm a man. I really don't know, you know, the type of heels, but they don't have to be the, you know, the. I guess they're called the.
Strippers here.
Yeah, exactly. No, they don't have to be that. I need some ladies to help me out. But no, but it okay. Let's talk about, are you comfortable in it? Because the first thing, I mean, if you're uncomfortable, you know, some ladies say, you know, I like the idea, but they're just too uncomfortable. So if they're uncomfortable to you, I mean, try some open toe shoes or things of that nature. But see, it's the whole package, you know. See when we see your feet, and your feet are well, what is that called, pedicure, and you know, oh my goodness, when we see the pretty feet and they're out, and you know, like I said, heels, but they don't have to be heels, but you showing those feet, you got on a nice dress, especially those sundresses, my goodness, you know, a nice skirt or something like that. As long as it's exuding your femininity. And I strongly feel nothing does that more than a woman in a, you know, heels, dress, or a skirt, to me.
That's true.
Yeah. For those, Miss Lachelle said, for those of us who are over 6 feet with heels, do men? No. Oh, my goodness. I gotta listen. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Sharia Lachelle, my goodness. If you 6 feet and you got oh my goodness. You are about to experience an avalanche of men running, you know, across the street, across the parking lot. You could be in the grocery store. My goodness. 6 feet, oh yeah, you put heels on. I mean, that you may get to a point where you're like, no, that's just too much attention. But again, ladies, it's going to be that positive attention where men are complimenting you respectfully. You know, it's I can't explain it. I just know, what happens. Stilettos, that's what I was talking about. Yes. Thank you, Angie B. Yeah. It does not have to be those stilettos. No. Nope. Somebody said, oh, wow, you are tall. Yeah. Somebody said, men love an Amazon goddess. Amazon goddess. Yes. Especially if you come down here in the South. My goodness. 6 foot tall woman in heels in the South. Man, you come to Louisiana, you may have 10 marriage proposals within 6 months. All right, did that answer your question?
Yeah, that answers all my questions for tonight. I might come back one day again.
Well, that's fine. Thank you so much. Feel free to drop in every Monday and every Thursday.
Okay.
All right. Well, you have a good night here.
Thank you. You too.
All right.
Bye.
Have a good one. Okay. Phone line is open. Anybody want to call in? Somebody said I'm in. Oh, you're in Arkansas. Okay. Well, you know what's going on then. Somebody said Echo, you wrong for that. Oh yeah. All right. Phone line is open once again. If anybody would like to call in, the number is at the bottom of the screen, 225-397-6922. Put some comments up there. Miss London said, yeah, and it's always better to hint at sexy than to scream it like I'm finally realizing that. Great observation, London. Glad to hear that. Okay, so back to the discussion at hand, going back to the cell phones, hoping maybe some of you ladies just tuned in. The topic of tonight's discussion was stemmed from a man sending me an email and a brief conversation I had with him. He was discussing his concern that he's definitely interested in approaching women, but it's so many times that he sees a woman and she's on her cell phone. And, you're talking on the phone or, you're listening to music or whatnot, and he feels that he doesn't want to be disrespectful in approaching you while you're on your phone. And I'll be honest with you. I agree with him because, you see, you have to understand, ladies, from a male perspective, the last thing we want to do is come across as being disrespectful. And to me, if a man approaches you while you're on the phone, I think your first reaction is going to be like, don't you see I'm on the phone? And, men will, that's the last thing we want to do is piss you off, especially if we find you attractive. So if anybody wants to comment on that, somebody said men talk on their cell phones. That's a great point. That's a great point. But definitely men talk on their cell phones too. But is that, once again, is that a signal, like a low key signal to say from ladies, basically saying, listen, don't approach me. I'm not in the mood for conversations, things of that nature. Yeah. Miss Angie B said that goes both ways. I definitely agree. But Miss Angie B, to your comment, I think men approach women more than than women approach men. I don't think there's going to be too many women out there. Even if you are attracted to a man and you see him on the phone, you're just going to wait. You would approach him while he's on the phone. But men, we just have that characteristic in us to approach. Well, at least a lot of us do. But again, nobody wants to come across as being a creep and disrespectful. All right. So once again, the phone line is open. If anybody wants to call in, We can take your calls. I got 10 minutes after 8. If anybody wants to shout out their city and state in the chat where they're tuning in from, that would be great. We had a call from Orlando, Florida. We had a call from Houston, Texas. Had a call from Omaha, Nebraska. Let's see. LC said, then the gentleman needs to look for one that's not on the phone. That's not on the phone. All right. We're getting some great comments in the chat as well. Hello, caller.
Had a call from Omaha, Nebraska.
Oh, wait a minute.
Caller.
Hi. Let me turn this down.
Yeah. You got to turn that down.
I'm on the air.
Yeah, you're on the air. How you doing? What's your name and where you calling from?
Hi, I'm doing well. Thanks for taking my call. And I guess I'll call myself Dee Dee.
Dee Dee, good.
And yes, so I'm Dee Dee from Milwaukee.
Wow, Milwaukee. How's the weather up there right now?
It's getting better. It's getting better, which is good. We actually had a snowstorm the day before yesterday, but everything melted, thank goodness.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready for spring. Definitely ready for spring.
I bet you are.
Yes.
What you got?
So thanks again for taking my call. So I have a couple of questions like wrapped into one, but I'll try and make it short. So I was just wondering, or I guess I should preface this by saying that sometimes I've run into issues with what seems like being too honest with men sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm revealing too much or just trying to be like upfront in some ways. Obviously, like strategically, I'm not trying to hurt them. I'm also trying to, hold on to some mystery, but also, in the attempt to actually try and be, upfront with, how I'm dating and things like that, just trying to be somewhat honest so that they don't try and,
mm-hmm.
flip it on you later or something, calling you all kind of stuff. So that being said, my question is, do you think it's a bad idea to date a man that, I'm sorry, that's the other question. Hold on. No, this is the more pressing question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How honest should you be with a man about how you are dating? Like, for instance, in terms of, dating multiple people,
Mm-hmm.
i.e. roster dating,
Mm-hmm.
Your past relationships,
Mm-hmm.
your intentions for dating / marriage,
Mm-hmm.
and should a woman be shy or not so forthcoming about how high maintenance she is?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a lot. I can repeat if you want.
Yeah. Let me start with, I think it was your second question first, and then I'll get to the remaining ones. Okay. I think your second question revolved around a woman's past. Okay. Now, if I were a lady, this is just me. This is just advice coming from a 54-year-old man. See, if I were a lady, I would never, ever reveal my past experiences with a man, in particular to sex. Now, I don't know if that's what you were talking about, but let me just say this real quickly. See, a lot of men, okay, well, I wouldn't say a lot, but there are some men out there who will ask a woman, how many men have you slept with in your past? And to me, number one, that's totally disrespectful. Number two, is totally inappropriate. And number three, what does it matter? Why does it matter?
Absolutely.
But let me just stay on that for a second. Now, I'm all for honesty, being upfront, being totally candid with a person. But in that particular case, if I were a woman, a guy asked me that, number one, I would say, hey, That's none of your business. Or, a woman doesn't reveal those type of things. Or if he's still pressing, I would just, of course, I don't know your past. I would lie. I'm going to tell you why I would lie.
Okay.
Let me tell you why I would lie. Because men, we can't handle it. I don't care what the number is.
Right.
I don't care if you only been with one person in your whole life. We can't handle it. What do I mean by we can't handle it? What I mean by we can't handle it is that instinct to dominate, that natural instinct to have sex. What's going to happen is we're going to keep pressing you about that. See, let's say you only been with one person and you told the man that. It's not like we're going to hear that and it's just going to go out of our head. We're going to, we may let it sit for maybe a day, a week or two, and then we may nudge it every now and then. Well, how good was he in bed? Was he better than me? Was his, know what, bigger than mine?
See, I never answer I rarely have men actually ask me, how many people I've been with. They might ask me about, I don't know, I've had guys ask me about other men's body parts.
Yeah.
Stuff, which is awkward. Super awkward.
And see, that's what I mean. See, as men, we have that natural instinct to size up another man. And I'm telling you, ladies, if you start revealing that information, it's a no-win situation. It really is. So don't even, I would advise you, don't even go down that road because we cannot handle it. It's something, I don't know what it is. It's like it affects our psyche, our mentality,
Right. I just couldn't understand what would, have the guy asking me about other men's, like, especially, I'm like, it just screamed insecurity to me. And, and it was really draining, like, cause, and I'm like, why are you fishing? Or now it's like, what do you want me to tell you? And stuff like, what do you want me to tell you? I'm dealing with you. So obviously, things are, we're operating that treatment. But, that always puzzled me as to why guys would ask about that. But thankfully, I haven't had too many guys asking me about my past partners but I guess, okay, so I'm 34, just turned 34. Mm-hmm. And so I guess, at my age, I'm not, at my age, I'm going to have, most people have a little bit of a past, or just we have, past relationships.
Of course.
And so, especially if you've been in, a couple of long-term relationships, for instance, you're discussing, okay, why did your last, relationship end? Or, what are some things you learned from your last relationship? Or especially if you have a long history, maybe you guys were friends with that person before you guys got together. And then you dated for some years, or, you were together for some years. So there might be a history or something. So they were a huge part of your life. So how do you navigate that going into a relationship? And, maybe there's like a memory that comes up that, you have with this new person that it's just a natural thing to say, oh, I remember that reminds me of this one situation and stuff. Like, and you're not trying to bring it up to, rub anybody in their face. It's just more like, oh, this was a part of my life, or, so you shared pets or something, like, oh yeah, that's something my old dog used to do, and so trying not to make it awkward for the new person or anything like that. But how do you just talk about past relationships in a mature way, but also not revealing, especially if there was toxicity in it? You don't want to give the man too much ammunition, but you also want to be genuine. You also want to get them to reveal something, but you also don't want them talking about their ex all day in your face.
That's true. Well, again, I would, if I were you, I would have something in place. And it sounds like you do have in place what I'm getting ready to say. I would have something in place that's you're comfortable talking about, and anything else that you're not comfortable talking about, just don't even answer it or bring it up. Just say that, I feel that that's inappropriate, or I feel that has no meaning or no bearing on you. Because see, you got to understand, there are a lot of men that on the outside look like they have it going on. You know, they got the jobs, they may have the career, they may have the salary, they may have the house, they may have all those superficial things on the outside that look good, but inside very, very, very insecure. And so it sounds like you may have been running across some men who are inside, from an inside standpoint, who are insecure, because a man who's not insecure, he's not going to even ask you those type of things, because of course everybody has a past. And see, one of the things that about men is that see men, it's amazing how a lot of times we'll ask women about their past or previous relationships or things of that nature, but when you turn around and ask us things about our relationship, I'm just going to be flat out honest with you. We will lie real quick. You know, we will lie so quick because, you know, so many times, you know, it's some ladies that I'm giving advice to right now. You know, one of the first things I tell them is stop asking a man. In this situation, it's men that they're just meeting. And one of the things that I would tell them is, hey, stop asking a man that you just met, when is the last time you had sex? Not because the question is bad, it's because he's going to lie to you. See, if you know, so many ladies, you may meet a man, let's say you meet him, let's say you met him tonight. And tonight is what, Monday? And then, you know, maybe next week, this time next week, next Monday, you ask him that question. Hey, when's the last time you had sex? 9 times out of 10, he had sex 2 or 3 nights ago. I mean, you're just meeting him. But do you honestly think he's going to say, I had sex last night or 2 nights ago? What he's going to say is, no, last time I had sex was 6 months ago. Last time I had sex was 8 months ago. Last time I had sex was over a year ago. So we lie about, in other words, we're just going to throw out a number that kind of throws you off, a number that we hope throws you off the trail and kind of make you think, well, you know, maybe this guy has been, you know, celibate for the last 6 months, but hell no. No. So men lie about those things all the time. And you know, those type of questions, we're not going to be honest with you about that. You know.
So what about if you ask them, you know, are you dating other people? Or they ask you if you're dating other people or seeing other people?
Well, let me just answer that real quickly. I would answer that question first by defining what dating is, how you define dating. See, let's say you are dating other people, but you're not sleeping with them. What I would do is I would be honest and I would say, yes, but let me give you my definition of dating. I'm just seeing guys, what they have to offer. If there's a connection, is there some compatibility, but absolutely no sex. So what that does is, see, that also puts a man in compete mode, because see, men at the end of the day,
I've had a lot of guys who don't even want to compete, like, or say they just want to, or they're like, they don't like to know that you're seeing other people because they feel like.
But see, that's why I say you have to define it, because when you say the word dating in a man's mind, it automatically thinks that you're sleeping with them. That's what I'm saying. See, that term dating, that definition of dating has totally flipped. Now it means that, you know, you're in some type of relationship where sex is going on. So again, I didn't hear you.
I said, yeah, that's the assumption.
Yeah. But again, if you define it and you seem like the type of lady who wants to be totally honest and transparent with a man, I would define it by saying, listen, this is my definition of dating. You know, there are some guys who I do go out with on occasions, but it's absolutely no sex going on. And if you define that and you lay it out for him, he's got 2 options. Okay, I'm going to compete for you, or there's a good chance that he wasn't, you know, the right man for you. He was just looking for some quick, easy sex and wanted to get in and get out as quickly as possible.
I could see that. Yeah, I would probably, I guess my way of answering it would be, well, okay, they're like, you know, what are you looking for? Are you seeing other people? Or I guess I would just say, well, I'm just, I'm interested in, meeting interesting and fun people who I can enjoy, some new experiences and new activities with. And I'm looking for a partner, or hopefully I find a partner that we share. I don't know, something like a level of compatibility that we could possibly move forward, into a future. I don't know. I'm just improvising now,
Yeah.
but I would say something along the lines of that. Just that, because if you, sometimes there's that assumption too when you're a certain age, like you're over 30 or getting close to 30 or something like that, that all women are desperate for marriage, and a lot of times that's not the case. We're just looking for a really good partner, somebody who understands us, somebody who loves us, essentially, and that we can trust and and count on
How,
and stuff like. But
how's the dating scene in Milwaukee? Uh-oh.
It's not the greatest. I mean, the job market is picking up here, so it seems like people are starting to thrive a little bit more after the pandemic. But it's a little bit of a dust bowl. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit of a dust bowl because it's a manufacturing city.
Yes.
It being in the Midwest, so we're close to Chicago, like so
Very
it's not
close.
too far from there. But the people are traditional here, kind of like the other caller too. It's not a small town, but it's not a Chicago exactly. So it being the Midwest, it's traditional. So a lot of people by my age are married or are saying multiple baby mamas or whatever.
Are you open to dating, possibly like in Chicago? Or?
Yeah, I am. I mean, I abhor the dating apps. I don't really do those, but I have dropped a little profile here and there on some of them just to see what I catch. And I've had some out of town people reach out to me, but I'm not even gonna lie, I'm a little bit exhausted with who I've been meeting lately, and that's why I wonder if maybe it's my market, or is it I'm getting better with the boundaries, with the being clear about what I will and won't accept.
Good.
And I can tell I'm attracting a little bit more higher caliber men, or I'm leveling up from what I was getting, but it's still the level that I would like to meet. I'm not, I'm not one of those who's got to be a millionaire or billionaire or something, but it's, I'd like somebody who's stable and, we could maybe do something together with. I've got a business mind, a business, mentality. And so somebody who shares that would be great. Wow. And, I'm a bit of an enigma just in my background and how I'm raised and things like that. So it's kind of hard to find somebody who I can really, really click with, because I'm kind of straddled between two worlds at times, culturally,
yes,
if you will.
Yes. Yeah.
So, some of these questions, it's just, I've heard on a lot of different platforms in different ways. But, I've just had problems, especially in the past year, just feeling like maybe I was just too honest with men. At times I'm like, oh, maybe I should have just not shared that, because at this point we wouldn't be arguing about this stupid little thing right now, just because they feel a type of way because they know too much information, but they haven't earned the right to tell me anything about my life.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean?
Yeah. Again, a lot of insecure men out there, and then you just got a lot of men who can't handle the truth. And I mean, I'm this is just me. I'm a firm believer in in a woman either reserving the right to not reveal certain information, or sometimes it's a situation where the guy, would just brings it up. Sometimes, depending on the person, hey, sometimes you just got to lie to them. And I hope I'm not coming across as being shallow or something.
No, you got to pick your battles
Because
sometimes.
I'm going to tell you something. See, men, we lie all the time. I promise you we lie all the time.
They swear up and down they don't, but they do. I said they swear up and down they don't, but they do, and then swear up and down that we're lying all the time when we're just trying to be genuine.
Listen,
like
we lie about how much money we make. We lie about where we work. We lie about what type of car we drive. I mean, we lie about so many. We lie about, depending on how you frame the question. You may ask a man, "Are you single?" You say, "Yeah, I'm single." Got married guys out there lying like a rug. Hey, are you married? No, I'm not married. No, not at all. So, I'm not saying it's right, but what I'm trying to get you to understand is sometimes it's a no-win situation, because if you tell us the truth, there's just certain things about a man. Certain men just can't handle the truth, just cannot handle it. And they'll just keep hounding you. They may let it go for a week or 2 weeks, maybe 2 months, 3 months, bring it back up again. You're like, damn, we just went over that. And so, I'm sorry, go ahead.
So another thing I've heard other creators or, other influencers talk about, hey, like, I'm not shy about being high maintenance. I'm not saying like they would say, okay, well, make sure that you can take care of yourself, but, don't be shy about what you expect from a guy or what, you expect them to contribute to your life or your lifestyle, eventually, or something like that. How would you suggest a woman who, isn't, just being a feminine woman takes maintenance. Okay. We all understand that, right?
Yeah.
All mature people understand that.
Yes.
We get that?
Yes.
Okay. So, like, how do we be like, listen, I do all this for me, but I also do all this for you. Like, how can you show me your appreciation for that?
Okay. All right. Okay.
You know what I mean? Without trying to make ourselves seem like a,
Yeah. All right. Let me help you out with that, if you don't mind. Okay. I'm pretty sure you've heard the old saying that less is more. And once again, this is just my opinion on this, but I'm gonna talk about less is more. See, when you talk about a lady who has high standards, you like nice things. First of all, absolutely nothing wrong with that. When you expect a man to support a specific lifestyle that you like, absolutely nothing wrong with that. But let me just fill you in on something real quick. See, we can spot that a mile away. See, we can look at you and see that you're a high value lady. See, we can look at you and tell that you like nice things. Why? Because you're showing it to us. We could look at your car. We could look at the accessories on your hands or your neck or whatever. We can see the purses. We can see how you carry yourself. So what I mean by less is more is don't say anything. Because see, a real man, once he spots it, he understands what he has to do to keep you. Now, see, again, this is just my take on it. If first of all, like I said earlier, absolutely nothing wrong with that. But I feel if you bring it up, for a lot of men, it's almost like a turnoff. But what happens is, like I said earlier, men, we can spot it. Trust me, we can spot it a mile away, and there's nothing wrong with that. And so if you just try my approach one time, don't even bring it up. Don't even say anything. Watch the right man now. The right man like I said, notices those things. He sees all the characteristics. He said, man, this is a lady that likes the finer things in life, and there's nothing wrong with that. He'll give you the finer things in life just because you didn't say anything. But for a lot of men, I'm just being honest with you, for a lot of men, that's a immediate turnoff. Immediate turnoff. Even though you're being honest, you're being transparent, but for some men, it's a turnoff. It's almost like if you met a man, and within a few days he's asking you to go to bed with him, and you may be like, oh, "Fool,
But
are
they
you crazy?"
do.
I just yeah. So again, I feel that if you just zip it up, don't say nothing. See, sometimes you got to let the man be the man, because I promise you, we can spot it a mile away. Why? Because we see it. We're not blind. Trust me. We pick up on those things real quick, just based on your appearance, your accessories, how you walk, your car. We pick up on all those things. And if you just learn how to, not going to say anything, the men, we will rise to the occasion. And also you got to realize, see, men, we talk, especially to our friends, and one of the things that we talk and brag to our friends about, we say, man, I got the best girlfriend in the world. Why? She don't ask me for anything. And just hear me out. See, when we say that, what we're saying is that's why we go out of our way to do double and triple sometimes, because you didn't say anything. So a lot of times we will go out of our way to go overboard to spoil you with gifts and luxurious items and whatnot, just because you're just humble. So again, that's just my advice. Other guys may tell you something different, but
I did kind of notice that a little bit, though. Like,
expound on it.
Huh?
Expound on it. Tell me.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I did notice that a little bit. Now, I mean, there were like different situations, but of course, I mean, there were some guys who I was dealing, or like, one guy I was dealing with who, well, I mean, I guess he was an ex, and, now he kind of comes back and he wants to like help me out with all these different things. And, because I'm not checking for him like that, really, but we're friends, like, and it's not like he tries to come on to me or anything. It's like, it's platonic, at least in my eyes. But there's that, and then, I mean, there was
okay.
there was one, and then there's another guy that I have been talking to for some months. I mean, almost since last year, but I had gotten out of a relationship, so last year I wasn't trying to be in anything serious. But we've continued to talk, but it's been kind of toxic. Long story short, I did him a favor by like watching his dogs for him. This is like, I don't know, I feel like telling this story is crazy. But yeah, I was watching his dogs for him, right? And he was supposed to pay me to help whelp the puppies and stuff. The way he was acting throughout the situation, because he's kind of up and down emotionally, I'm a little more even keeled. I'm a little bit more able to control my emotions. And so the way that he was up and down, I just was starting feeling like I couldn't trust him to really, pay me. So I was pressing the issue for a while. Let's just say I was pressing the issue, like, okay, so when are you going to pay me for this? Like, and I didn't want to be like that, but it's like, okay, well, now you ate the steak, so, and you agreed to pay me, so whatever. Yeah. Okay.
Can you see that comment? One of the people in the chat by the name of Lady Ray, RAE, left.
Lady Ray, I've grown my natural. Is it that one?
No. Look on the screen. Can you see the screen?
Oh, okay. I'm gonna ask you to say that, and he would want to give me things because of that. What, say that they were friends?
No. We're talking about when I gave you the analogy of less is more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. See. I promise you, as men, we know what we have to do. I promise you that. Now, knowing what we have to do and doing it, that depends upon the man. But I promise you, young lady, men, we know what we have to do, and the right man, if you could just, first of all, like I said, nothing wrong with liking nice things, absolutely nothing wrong with that. But if you could just try it one time or a couple of times, I think you'll see the difference where the men will actually do more for you just because you didn't you didn't even bring it up. Because
I noticed that because I just stopped asking about it, and then he started paying me.
You have to understand.
Every doing more.
Listen, when men are in a committed relationship, nothing makes a man feel more like a man than knowing that he's satisfying his lady in all aspects, whether it be sexually, whether it be financially, taking care of the household needs, paying the mortgage. See, that makes us feel like a man. That brings out our masculinity. You know, we like being able to sit back and look at you, and you're beautiful over there, and you got all your needs are met, you know, from a financial standpoint, and you know the material things that you like. You know, you have those things. See, those things make us feel good. But a lot of times, I think women may not understand that if you're bringing those things up, if you're asking about those things, once again, nothing wrong with that. But it's almost like you're taking a shot at our masculinity because we already know this. So you know, just try it, and I think you'll see a huge difference on how men just say, you know what, man, she doesn't ask me for anything. My goodness, I'm going to go out and, man, I'm going to spoil her with everything. Because trust me, men, we know what we got to do. We really do.
Absolutely. I've kind of realized that. I think that I just found that, you know, kind of when you ask for things, like certain things as women, some men are just stubborn, and I think it's more of a control thing. Like they do want to give it to you, but they're like, no, I'm gonna do it when I want to do it. Sometimes, but you know, I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But I mean, all that is really great advice, and you know, I appreciate you kind of breaking it down a little bit more because, you know, sometimes I just, you know, I feel like I can't win for losing. I'm trying to communicate with men sometimes.
Yeah. No,
you know?
but trust me, hang in there. I promise you, Mr. Right, he's out there. You just got to hang in there. And whatever you do, have a vetting process in place. Once you do meet him, have your standards high. And whatever you do, don't drop your standards. I promise you, men, we will always meet you at the standard that you set. Now, if you start dropping those standards, we're going to meet you exactly where you dropped them at. So have a vetting process, have it high, make sure it remains high. I promise you, we'll meet those high standards that you have.
Okay. And then just real quick, one for the road. Now, so keeping your standards high, you know, dovetailing off of that, then how many chances, like, are we supposed to do this the 77 times? Like, you know, you can tell that a guy likes you, but he seems to keep trying you. You know, is he just really, how do you know if a man is testing you or it's like just testing you to see, you know, if you can kind of take it a little bit or if you'll push back at him or if he's really just disrespecting you and you need to leave him alone?
Okay. So what I mean by having your standards high, you should have a vetting process in place with standards. For example, number one, no sex. I don't know how you feel about it, but no sex during the dating phase. To me, if I were a lady, that would be my number one standard. Once again, this is just my advice. If I were a lady, my standard number one would be any man that I'm attracted to and I'm willing to see if we have some things in common, go out on dates with him. My standard would be no sex until we get married, but I would not tell him. I'm not going to tell him that because, once again, see, men, we don't understand talk. See, you got to show him no sex until, you know. So What that means is, if that's one of your standards, maybe another standard would be no disrespect. You're not going to talk to me anyway. You're not going to flake out on dates with me. You're not going to be the type of person that jumps, falls in and out of my life. I hear from you maybe 3 days in a row, then 3 days in a row, I don't hear from you. So I feel that you should have some standards in place written down that are just straight up deal breakers. Just deal breakers. If you cross this line, it's over with. I don't care who you are. So that's what I mean by having your standards in place, and then you call the shots during the dating phase. You familiar? Hold on 1 second. All right. If you get time, if you go to Amazon, if you like some of the things that I'm saying, that book that's on the screen right now, if you like what I'm saying, you'll love that book, because I lay it out step by step how to train. See, I use the word train. Some people use the word vetting, but let me tell you something, young lady. See, when you dealing with men, you got to train us the same way you train a dog. And I promise you, it can be done. It can be done, but it has to be done in the initial stages when you first meet us. You cannot wait. You lay around and you may fall weak one time and you give in to have sex. Guess what? It's over with. Because what happened? We just trained you to get on our program. So you only got, in my opinion, you only have two outcomes when you're dealing with men. You either vet us / train us to get on your program or your agenda, or we're going to train you / vet you to get on our program and our agenda. And if you allow us to do it, there's a good chance it's going to be a long, long, bumpy ride. Because then that's when we start, once again, our true colors really start coming out after sex. Those masks that we were wearing, we were such a gentleman. We were so attentive. We were called and we were so caring. And, we would send you the sweet text messages and the sweet voicemail messages. See, what's going to happen is when those true colors come off, when those true colors are revealed, see, those things started to degrease. Brrr. And then it's a term that I used, phrase that I use that's called putting you in our hip pocket. See, we feel as if you were these glasses, we can just put you in our hip pocket and pull you in and out of our hip pocket whenever we feel like dealing with you. That's not a good situation to be in, because, again, that's why it's so important that women, you have to set the tone in the beginning of the relationships, and you are perfectly suited to do it. Why? Because you got what's called female leverage. It's set up by nature for us to pursue you. It's natural for a man to pursue you. It's natural for a man to want to be in your company. It's natural for a man to chase you. It's natural for a man to hunt you, because that's what we are. If you strip away all the education, you strip away all the knowledge, you strip away all the technology, men, we're still hunter-gatherers. That's what we are. And so men have always pursued women, but it seems like in this day and age that we live in, it seems like this script has been flipped, and men have flipped the script to make women pursue them. And that's totally out of nature. I mean, if I were a lady, no way on this earth, I would pursue a man. Why? Because I understand, men, trust me, we understand female leverage. But if you don't understand your natural female leverage, what's going to happen is we're going to be quiet. We're not going to say anything, and we're just going to take that leverage from you, and we're going to call the shots. We're going to say when we go out on a date. We're going to say where we go on the date. We're going to say what time. We're going to say what we do after that date, things of that nature. So if you don't have any control, any say-so over that, like I said earlier, it could be a long, bumpy ride for you.
Okay. Well, I absolutely understand. And again, thank you for that great breakdown. And I really enjoy your content, and I will definitely check out the book. And I'm sure this won't be the last time I call in the show.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate your call.
Thank you. Have a great night.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Somebody said, hey, no more chasing for me. Been there, done that. No more chasing. Yeah. Good. Good advice. I would never, someone said I would never in my life pursue a man. That's great advice. I don't blame you, Ira W. All right. Phone lines are open. If anybody, I think somebody was trying to call in. If you would like to call in, please feel free. If anybody would like to leave a Cash App donation, super chat, greatly appreciated. The PayPal is also on the screen. Thank you so much. If you want to leave a donation. Okay, let's see. What time is it? I swear I had a clock in front of me. All right, I got 8:50 my time. I'm sorry about that. Hold on. Hello, caller. Yes, can you hear me?
Hi,
Hi, how are you doing this evening? What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm good. I'm actually Lady Ray. You mentioned me in the chat.
Oh, excellent. Good.
Hi, calling from Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. You're in dating heaven. I mean, you're right down the street
You
from
think?
DC. You're right down the street from DC. You got Virginia. You got the
Are you being sarcastic?
no. No. Am I wrong or what?
I mean, I would say that this is like the black dating mecca.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you could say that.
Okay.
Okay. But as far as caliber, I would say it's definitely lacking. In Baltimore specifically. But I called in to ask a question. I recently just ended things with a guy that I went on 2 dates with.
Mm-hmm.
He is a mutual friend, a friend of mine that I've known for quite some time, and she really wanted to hook us up, so she linked it up. I went on the first date, and I think that I've just been giving more grace than I should. He wasn't very chivalrous. He didn't open my car door, and it's like, okay, I get sometimes it can be a little bit awkward.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like throughout the whole night, and then when he dropped me off, he did walk me to the door, but it was just like not something like, since I've been working on myself and understanding what I want and what I need, I just feel like it just wasn't up to par.
Mm-hmm.
So my question to you is, should I have even gone on that second date knowing that he didn't follow through on the things that I feel like I deserve?
No. Nothing wrong with going out on a second date, because it sounds
Okay.
like what you were doing is you just wanted to make sure this was
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing wrong with that, and I commend you for having your standards in place and not lowering your standards, because at the end of the day, if he's not conforming to the things that you feel that a man should be doing, hey, I don't blame you one bit. And like I said, I commend you for that, because a lot of people may have overlooked those signals and think, well, eventually he'll get it. But trust me, no, he wasn't going to get it.
Yeah, I just felt like, with nerves, okay, it might have happened, but I feel like if it was in him, being 35 years old, it just would be in his nature. Yeah. And I'm not in a position in my life where I would ask a man to do those things. That's just not something that I'm comfortable with doing. It's either you have it or you don't. If you don't, that's fine. I'm sure that there's women out there that, wouldn't think anything of it. But I think definitely with the second date, it was more prominent. I noticed it. Like, we had parts. Say it again?
It was confirmation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We parked on I guess like a busy city street, and he parked on the left side, so I was in the passenger seat, and I'm exposed to like the traffic, and like he definitely didn't. He literally said, "Be careful getting out." I'm just like, well, maybe a hand or something. Like I had my heels on, So yeah, just the little things. Like I don't want to be super picky. I guess that's what I'm struggling with. I don't want to be super picky, but at the same time maintaining like these things that are definitely deal breakers and important to me.
Of course. No, you're definitely not super picky again. Have your standards in place and don't lower them. But see, because what you're going to find out is, see, men, like I said, they're going to meet you at your standards, or if they don't, you got to weed them out. You have to weed them out.
Right.
Because he was not going to change. I promise you that.
Yeah.
He was not going to change. Nope.
Yeah, and it's just really ironic because I've been doing a lot of self-dating, just building my confidence and just learning to love me. And I did that for a few months before I jumped back into the dating pool.
Great.
So this is me like maybe a week or two back into the dating pool. So I will say there's been an abundance of men. So that's good.
Yes.
It's like they've just been flowing. I just turned 30 2 weeks ago. So it's just like, okay, is this what my 30th year is going to be? Okay, there's rain and men. Okay. So that same day, I decided to go out to this place that I found that I really like, and I think I'm just going to become a regular there. Just like the energy there. Not expecting to meet any guys, just really, again, going on one of my solo dates. And when I get in there, I sit at the bar. I don't drink. I just get a mocktail and like a snack, a bar snack. And it's a gentleman that's like seated to the right of me, and he pulls out my chair. I shake his hand. We introduce each other, and we spoke the entire time.
Wow.
And then when it was time for the bar to close, he walked me out. He walked me to my Uber, and we exchanged numbers, and he opened my car door. So it's wild that it was definitely confirmation, I guess I would say.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad things are looking up for you. You sound like a very bright and articulate lady. And
thank you.
Yeah,
wow.
yeah. Once again, I'm so glad that you have your standards in place. You understand what things you want, what things you don't want, and that's so very important, because if you don't have your standards in place, a lot of women would take anything. And guys, you know, us guys, we got to step it up. But there's just some guys out there that will not step it up regardless. They'll just say, okay, you're allowing this to happen. You're allowing me to do this to you. I'm just going to continue to do it.
Yeah. So would you say give that grace period, like give that second date?
Which one? With the guy you just met?
No, not. I'm just saying in general, like for it to come. Even if I see things that aren't quite right, just give it that second try.
Well, no more than two. No more than two, because sometimes, you know, after that first date, the guy may go home and maybe that light bulb comes on, and he may say, right, maybe I should have did this differently. I may have done that differently. Yeah. So sometimes that light bulb, adjustments. Yeah, sometimes that light bulb can come on, and then, you know, guys will make mental adjustments and change things up for that second date. But if he hasn't changed by that second date, I love, you know, your zero tolerance stand on that, and you're like, hey, you got to go, son. Nope. Yeah. That's excellent, because I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say thank you so much.
No. Thank you, because that's what this show is about. You know, having conversations, and you know, we can bounce ideas and theories around, and you know, and see what works, because it's one thing that I am an expert in, and that is being a man. And I know we can be some cunning, deceitful, lying, manipulating creatures. Yeah. When we have sex on the brain. And I know some of the things that we do, some of the tactics that we do, and some of the games that we play, and some of the schemes that we come up with. So I'm glad to see. Yeah,
that actually brings me to one other thing. I didn't mention it, but
go ahead.
I want to keep you too long. But with the guy that I mentioned that didn't hold the car door open and stuff. So on the second date, I guess this was like the straw that broke the camel's back for me. He went in for a hug, and then maybe 5 minutes after like I got into the building, he texted me and asked if I got into the building okay, and I said yeah. And then he mentioned like my hug wasn't really that good, like trying to make a joke of it. And then he said, "Oh, I guess I'm definitely not getting a kiss." And I just felt like, I don't know, I just felt really uncomfortable by that because like you haven't shown anything to me, so I kind of felt like, are you fishing, to see how far you can get?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought that was like out of left field.
No, yeah. See, it may have been out of left field to you, but this is how men operate.
Yeah,
for
sure.
I wrote a book. I included this whole thing in one chapter where I talked about how to end a date. And what you just said was textbook of how men will try to see from a sexual standpoint how far they can go at the end of the date. Because see, men, we're going to throw out those feelers. We're going to throw out those things that we can kind of gauge and see. Is there a chance that maybe this thing could wind up at my place or your place? So the hug is one of the first things that we do at the end of a date. That's why in the book that I wrote, I clearly indicate at the end of the date, absolutely no physical contact but a handshake. That's just me. Why? Because see, with the hug.
Wait, I'm sorry, I missed that. You said a handshake?
If we hug you, I promise you, we're going to try and kiss you.
Oh my goodness! Okay.
Because one thing, see, we're trying to test and see can one thing lead to another, and if we kiss you and you kiss us back, and you're kissing us back passionately, then in our minds we're thinking, wait a minute, we may
like
be
a domino.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's like a domino effect.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why you received that text, because he was like, okay, I tried to throw out the feeler, trying to get an indication of where you were at, and you were like, nah, son, it ain't happening. That ain't happening. So once again, I applaud you on that, because like I said, I wrote a whole chapter on that, how to end a date. And you gave him a hug, but I strongly recommend on that first date. First date is a handshake. That's just me.
Okay, cool.
Because the reason I say that is, see, the handshake also, the handshake is so significant because you're sending out a message. Once again, see, men, we don't understand talk. See, don't tell a man you like to take things slow. You got to show him you like to take things slow, because we don't understand this. If you tell us something, we're going to be like, I heard what you said, but I'm still going to try this. So don't tell him you like to take things slow. Take things slow. So I recommend at the end of that first date, if the date went in a manner which was pleasing to you, just give him a nice compliment. I enjoyed the date. I enjoyed the conversation. You seem to be a nice you seem to be a nice gentleman, but I have to leave and go back to my place. Extend the handshake. See, men, what we want to know is, do we still have a foot in the door? And you answer that by saying, I enjoyed the date. That's all we need to hear. When you say, I enjoyed the date, you seem to be a very nice man. I like your conversation. I like how you carry yourself. See, when you just give him those 3 or 4 small compliments, that lets us know, okay, we're in the game. She's feeling me, but she's letting me know that that's it. The rest is on me to continue it. So you always want to keep a man in compete mode. So once we hear those things that, yes, you are interested in us, that keeps us in compete mode, extend your hand and say, have a good night. He will respect that. Why would he respect that? Because every man loves to respect a woman that has standards. See, when you do that, number one, you're making him respect you. And then number 2, you're making him respect what you are doing. See, We're going to respect you for what you're doing. I mean, for telling us, complimenting us, but we're really going to respect you for what you're doing. See, every man, when he's looking for a wife, when he's looking for a fiance, when he's looking for a significant other, he's checking to see, does she have standards? Does she have a system in place to weed out good men? To weed out the bad guys and exalt the good men. See, those type of actions catapult you into wife material category, or fiance type category, serious relationship type category. When a man sees, okay, this woman has class, she has style, she has dignity, she respects herself. See, that's huge when we find out that you respect yourself. And trust me, that's what men are looking for when they're trying to select their wife. That's one of the main things.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I'm not going to take up more time, but just good luck with your channel. I just discovered you, and the content is great, but good luck. I'm going to go back to the chat and see what's going on.
Okay. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. What time is it? We got 9:05. Someone says, men are like bad children. Every boundary you set, they will try. Amen to that. Amen, Nisi. We definitely will try and cross every boundary. All right, so I have 9:05 on my end. We got 52 in the chat, 27 likes. If anybody wants to call in, please feel free to do it. Phone line is at the bottom of the screen. If not, we can call it a night. And we could pick it up Thursday. Again, thank you, everybody who tuned in tonight. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the support that you've been showing my channel. Thank you for the kind comments. Thank you for the emails of encouragement, things of that nature. Once again, I really appreciate it. And somebody said, Jesus walks with you. I received that. Again, I'll take a few more phone calls, but if not, we can end it. All right, we got a call there. Hold on. Hello, caller.
Once again, really appreciate it.
Hello?
Yes, I think you have YouTube playing in the background.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just going to turn it off. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm good. I really enjoy your show.
Thank you so much. Thank you. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Naday, and I'm calling from New Jersey. I'm 22 years old.
Wow, good. Thank you so much, Naday, for calling.
Yeah. So I've been watching your show for a little bit now, and like everything you said kind of like resonates within me. Like it hits my head because I'm kind of like in a similar situation where like I've been talking to an older guy for like, I've been for like a year, and then we've gotten serious and like about like 5 months ago around December.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was the kind of girl where I was like, like I'm going to like wait for the right person to like have sex with them. But, because I know him for prior to like us doing anything, I decided that it was time for me to do so with him because I trusted him. But I feel like because of the age difference that we have, like he just doesn't see me in the way that I see him. And as of lately, I've been really stressing myself out in a way where it's like I'm overthinking and I'm like doubting him and like how he feels about me. But like, yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to get some advice on that because it's really been driving me crazy as of late.
What's the age difference, if you don't mind me asking?
Okay, so he's 35 and I'm 22.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And you say things have changed for the worse, or what are you saying?
They just like the way that the effort that he used to put in forth before, like, he would take me out on dates. Yeah. He would like, I've met his like dad and everything, and his dad like really likes me, like thinks I'm like a really nice girl. And like, he would spend a lot of time with me. Like I could always be like, oh, can I come over and say hi? Like, can I come over and stay with you for a little bit? And he'd be like, yeah, but now as of lately, like things have changed.
Yeah.
Like, like it feels forced that I'm putting in much more effort and I'm like chasing after him. Yeah. And it's just something that I typically don't do because like not to be like braggadocious, but like I get like a lot of attention from like men.
Yeah.
And so for me to be the one to chase after someone, especially after someone that's like much, much older than me, it kind of makes me feel like really, really weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he's 35.
Yeah, let me just give you my take on it. Again, you don't have to reveal any information. I'm just going to give you my take, how I see it. From what you described, usually that's when we usually start acting like that after we've had sex with you. Usually.
Yeah.
See. After we have sex with you, our real motives and intentions and the type of person that we are, those things come to the forefront real quick.
Yeah.
Because if you notice, and again, you don't have to tell me your situation, but if you notice, in the initial stages before sex, we're totally different. It's like night and day. We're kind, we're gentle, we're attentive, we're calling, we're texting. You know, we're the perfect gentleman. You know, we're giving you our time and attention. You know, we're there. You know, we do the pillow talk. I mean, you know, we compliment you on how fortunate we are to have you in our lives. And then, bam, after sex, those masks, those layers, those those multiple personalities that we had in the beginning stages of being a good guy, they start to reveal themselves. And then the real us starts to come out, and you say, well, wait a minute, you don't even seem like that same person that I met before this. So again, you know, if that's the situation, number one, listen, don't beat your head, don't beat yourself up over that. Hey, that's life. We can't change. We can't cry over spilled milk. But what I would advise you to do is, you know, I don't know how emotionally attached you are to it, because sometimes when emotions comes into play, sometimes it's real hard to pull away from someone. But if those emotional attachments are there, or if they're not there, I'm just going to give you my advice. You gotta get out of that situation, because he's not going to change. I see it getting worse. See, this is what I call men when we, after sex, what we'll do is we'll put you in our hip pocket, and we will deal with you only when we feel like dealing with you. We'll drop out of your life for days at a time, weeks at a time, things of that nature. Now, let me tell you this right now. Okay, your name is Nadie, right?
Nadie, right? Yeah.
Nadie, you're from New Jersey.
Yeah.
Okay, you take this to the bank, young lady. You listen to the old man from Louisiana. Okay.
I'm listening.
If you decide, and I'm hoping you do this, to end it, it may hurt your feelings. You may go through some days like withdrawal where you're just not feeling yourself. Hey, sometimes you gotta hurt before you heal. That's natural. But if you decide to do that, young lady, I promise you, he's gonna contact you again. He's coming back.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have to be ready to withstand that storm. Because when he comes back, he's gonna come back like a totally rejuvenated person. He's gonna be sorry. He's gonna be remorseful. He may cry some tears. He may come to your door begging for mercy for you to take him back. And you're gonna have to be strong enough to say, nope, you blew it the first opportunity. Because young lady, 9 times out of 10, if you allow him back, it's gonna be the same thing again.
No, of course.
You know,
that's the thing. Like, I told myself like 2 days ago, I was like, listen, like, I'm 22 years old. I could literally get any guy out there that I really want.
Yeah.
Why am I really stressing over somebody that's not giving me the time of day?
Yeah.
And the thing is, I've never been this kind of girl. I guess only because I started having sex with him and he took my virginity that I got emotionally attached. But prior to dating other guys, I've never been the type of girl that's been like super emotionally involved. Like, I could talk to somebody and then completely be like, I'm over it, and then like move on. But with this one, I'm kind of having a hard time. And it's just like, I should have known from the beginning, like with all the red flags, like, you know, like we would spend a lot of time together and I would always be at his house. He would take me out on dinner dates and do all these things for me. And I always explain to him that, listen, like, I'm the type of person that I need a title. Like, I can't just be with you and, spend all my time with you and not be like your girlfriend. And I told him that. And so in the meantime, I told him that that's the case. Like, I'm going to also be seeing other people. So I would see other people, but eventually that really upset him too. And then I was like, so you're upset with me that I'm seeing other people when I told you that I'm not going to be fully committed to you until you give me that title. And he's like, I don't know why you would want that title, because like, I've done everything. My character does everything to show you that I'm all for you and I want to be with you. But that's not how it works. Like, if you like someone, you want to be with someone, you would do what it takes to make them yours and to fully lay down, like, on the line, like, this is like, you're my girlfriend, I'm your boyfriend, and that's it. But not just like do what we're doing.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, oh my God, the people in the chat are like telling me to just leave. And I made up my mind, like, I'm going to leave because at this point, like, I want something serious. And so I'm not going to be giving my time, my energy, like my body, and not having my needs reciprocated. And so I've already made up my mind. It's been stressing me out because it's like, this is not the kind of person that I am. And for me to have so low, like, for a man really, like, makes me feel differently about myself.
Yeah. Again, Nadine, trust me. I'm glad that you have your mind made up to move on, and you know your worth, and you know that you deserve better. That's excellent. But like I said, young lady, please listen to what the old man from Louisiana is saying. He's coming back. He's coming back.
Yeah.
He's going to come back, and I promise you, don't be surprised if he cries like a baby. Don't be surprised if he gets on his knees and just begs you for mercy. Don't be surprised if he tells you that he went to counseling and he comes up with this story about, it was the pressures of life, and, he was coping with family issues, and he was coping with this, and he didn't want to bog you down with all that, so he needed a break. It wasn't you, it was him. Don't be surprised if he comes at you like that, because that's what we do. Especially when we know that you've moved on. So you, young lady, you have got to be so strong. I promise you, he's coming back.
I know.
You got to be strong.
I really look at the mirror and I'm like, I gotta do what's best, because there's so many people out there that, like, I'm having a hard time grasping that, like, this is me, because I've never been the type to, like, deal with this nonsense. Like, and that's why, like, people are, like, in the chat saying that I never should have had sex with him, because, like, it is a trap. Like, you get really emotionally involved, and then, like, I really did lose my leverage over him, because, like, now it's just it's whatever.
Well, again, listen, Nadine, please don't beat yourself up over it. I mean, it happened. We can't change the past. So there's a reason why we call it the past, because that's over with. So don't beat yourself up over that. What you got to do is you got to focus on today and every day after today. And please, as I said, you're gonna have to be strong, because he's coming back. He's coming back, and he's gonna come back so remorseful. And you got to be strong enough to say, I don't care how much you're crying. I don't care how much you bending on your knees. I don't care how much you text me. See, he may send you flowers. He may send you candy. I mean, he may just roll out the red carpet. But you got to be strong.
Yeah, no, I'm really turned off.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, like, even with this behavior, like, I'm really turned off. Like, it's just like, especially because I've spent so much, like, I feel like I've given so much, like, my time, my energy, my parents know about him, like, my friends know about him, like, people, I've made it the effort to make it seem, like, to let him know, like, I'm really invested in you and that I want to be with you. And so all of that, and for what? Like, and the thing is, I'm the kind of person where I really do prioritize myself like to the highest degree. But I think I'm just having a hard time, and I'm beating myself up over it because it's like if I would have just been more discernful or whatever, and just watched out for the signs, then I would have not like this mistake. But it's whatever.
It sounds like you were trusting. It sounds like you took his words at face value, and you just have to learn from it. See, if you look on the screen right now, I wrote an entire book. And if you pick up that manuscript, if you pick up that book at your convenience, you read it, I promise you, it's going to give you all the information about the games that men play and an effective counter strategy that you can put in place to weed those type of guys out. Because I'm gonna be honest with you. At 22 years old and a man 35 years old, he has too much time on you. I'm just being honest with you.
Yeah, I agree.
He has too much time as far as his experience in how to manipulate a young lady. See, a woman that's 22, you are a woman, but in the dating world, in the old school days, we would call you green. Green just means you're not ripe right now. You are fruit, but you're not properly, ready for this. But now, these type of lessons, they will help you out because see, there are a lot of men out there that's going to come to you. They're going to be lions, but they're going to be in sheep clothing. And you got to be aware of some of these tactics. Like I said, if you get that book, it'll be one of the best investments that you'll ever make.
I just ordered it right now.
Yeah, because I promise you, that type of stuff was that's why I can tell you he's coming back. Because once again, I know men. I know all the games that we play. And because he's coming back because, see, men, I'm going to use an old phrase that we used to use back in the old days. And that phrase is, a man knows when we have our hooks in you. And all that means is we know when you have feelings for us, and the feelings could be so strong that even though we messed up, that we feel that, okay, our hooks are in you so deep, we could come back and get the same type of love and affection and things of that nature, sex, as if nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful of that, young lady. You really do. But like I said, he's coming back. You just got to be strong enough to say, nope, no dice, not here. You messed up the first time. That's the deal breaker.
Yeah, and the thing is, he talked about how he was ready for like marriage and how he wanted kids and everything. And I genuinely feel like he's just the type to just use me just to have like the kid that he like wanted, without necessarily like being fully committed to me. And that's not how I'm Senegalese, right? Yeah. And how it is in my culture is like, you get married, you have kids, like the way that it's meant to be. Yeah. So my parents do not like play with that. And the thing is that my parents don't mind me dating someone older because my parents, they have a age gap that's older as well. So my mom is like all for it. She's cool with it. But if they would be so disappointed if that was to be the case because, this is not necessarily how we do things in my culture. And so like I've really just been having a hard time, and I've been beating myself up over my decision to like let someone in so much without fully trusting and discerning what kind of person he is. And the thing is, he's so big on character. He's always talking about how as a woman, it's good to have a good sense of character and it's just like, if that's the case, you have to practice what you preach,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a mess, but
yeah,
I'm definitely going to just stop talking to him.
I hope you call the show again and give me an update. But once again, he's coming back. Oh, trust me.
Yeah, I will.
And if you want to keep your sanity, trust me. If you want to keep your sanity, everything is going to be no, and no. Because I've seen a lot of women lose their sanity because they believe that sad story that some men will pitch to them and say, I'm a changed man. Just give me just give me one more try. I promise you, I'm not that same guy that you met. I have changed. I realized that I messed up and you're the right woman for me. And I was doing those foolish things. But if you just give me one more chance, Nadie, just one more chance, baby, I'm going to show you how much I've changed.
Yeah, no.
And if you allow him in that door, my goodness. My goodness. Yeah.
I think I'm just gonna get satisfaction from watching him come back because I know I'm gonna be like, no, because I'm literally like, I can't even sit here and like look at him. I'm so turned off just from the behavior because like it's just not something that I like. And I guess he was wasting my time. He was trying to trap me by saying things that I wanted to hear and act in a way that like would get me. But I saw the efforts just go down, and that, as time went on, just turned me off completely. Yeah. And now I see him for what it really is, and I'm just really turned off. Like, ugh. Yeah.
Good.
Thank you.
Yeah. It sounds like you have a book written in you. You're going to be producing a book and a podcast pretty soon.
Oh, nah.
You want? Wow.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. You have a good night. And don't be a stranger. Feel free to call back.
Yes, I will. Thank you.
All right. London Milan says, stay strong, sis. We are rooting for you. Yes, London. We are rooting for that young lady. Somebody said you got to say no. That's true. It's so many guys playing these games out here, and ladies, I'm pretty sure, you know these things, but you cannot put anything past what a man will say or do to get you in bed. I mean, we will promise you the world. We will promise you the world, and at the end of the day, guess what? All it is talk. We will tell you we want to be in a committed relationship. We will tell you that we want to marry you. We will tell you that you're the best thing for us, and we will tell you that you're the only woman for us, and all it is talk. That's why you got to have a vetting system in place. You got to have a vetting system in place. You got to... Sorry to hit you with that sound effect that a lot of people say that they hate them, but that's what you got to have. You got to have that alarm that goes off and say, fraud. Because my goodness, there are some men out there, they are so good at what they do. I mean, they got the gift of gab, they got the looks, they got the body type. I mean, they just got the total package. And if you let these eyes and your ears play tricks on you, they will just sell you a dream. All right, I got 927. Somebody was attempting to call. If you'd like to call in, call back, I would greatly appreciate it. Miss Angie B said fraud. Yes, Angie, fraud. You got to be able to expose them. That's why your vetting system is so important. Because so many men out here just looking for easy sex, easy access. Don't care about your feelings. Don't care about your emotions. Don't care if you crying all night. Don't care if they kept you up pacing the floor all hours of the night. They don't care about that. You got to be careful out here, ladies. You really do. All right. If anybody, again, wants to call in, there was a call that I missed. I was still on the phone with Nadie. But if not, we'll go ahead and wrap it up for tonight. What we got? 52 in the chat. London said, so how much and what should I do to invest in you until you can kind of trust him and let him in? That's an excellent question. I'm just going to answer that, London. If I were a woman, okay, if I were a woman, my vetting / training process would last up until minimum engagement. Sorry about that. Hello, caller. How you doing tonight? Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm calling. Is this the right number?
Yes, you're calling elderly advice, correct?
Yeah.
Well, how are you doing? What's your name and where are you calling from?
Okay, my name is Tia. I'm calling from New York.
Okay, your name is Tia.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you so much for calling in, Tia. What can I help you with tonight?
Hello?
Yeah, it sounds like you have YouTube playing in the background.
Yeah, yeah. I think YouTube was in the background. My name is Tia. I'm from New York.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm calling because I've been dating this guy for 6 months, and I haven't met any of his friends. And so he says that he's really into me. He's pursuing me. All he wants is me. And he's very nice, very chivalrous. Such a gentleman. He gets me flowers. He asks me if I need anything. He always trying to just really be supportive and things like that. But it's like the friendship piece. I feel like if I don't meet your friends, then I don't really know if you're really being true and honest with me, because I only know who you are when you're with me. I don't really know who you are when you're with your friends.
Yes.
And so that was like a big red flag to me, because I've seen him around like work people, and his family was there at an event, but I haven't really seen his close friends. And when I brought this up to him, he said, "Oh, his friends are like our little hood, and he just doesn't want me being around his friends because he just doesn't want to expose me to that, because he doesn't want to it to be a bad impression on him." And if you're dating someone, wouldn't you want to know the full picture of who they are?
Of course.
So it kind of bothered me a little bit. Is that like a red flag?
That's a huge red flag. And you said you've been dating him for what, 6 months?
Yeah, for 6 months.
Yeah, that's a huge red flag. Again, I'm just giving you my perspective from a male. See, when a man is when we meet the person who we call or consider our future, maybe our future fiance, maybe our future wife, or our girlfriend who we are serious about. See, one of the first things we do is we'll bring you around our friends and let you meet our friends. That's one of the first things we do. Why do we do that? Because we want to show you off. See, we want to showcase you. We want to show our friends, hey, this is the woman who is my girlfriend. And so usually when men shy away from bringing you around their friends, usually that's a direct indication that he's dealing with other women, usually, because the lady who we consider the girlfriend, that's the one who we bring around our friends and family. And so, like I said, I don't know your situation completely. I could be totally wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But usually, if you have not met his friends, have you? So I'm guessing you've never met any of his family either, right?
Yeah, I've met his family. I've met his family at an event, and he told me that he speaks to his mom about me all the time.
Okay.
So I've met his mom and his siblings at this event.
Mm-hmm.
But he told me that I actually found out that he had two female best friends. And when I asked to meet them, he said, "Oh, it wasn't the right time to meet them." He said it was just basically going to be two girls hanging out with just him, and it was one of the girls' birthdays. And he said, it wasn't appropriate for me to meet them at the time.
Yeah.
And he says all these things. Meanwhile, he's telling me that he wants to build with me, that he wants to marry me, that he's only focused on me.
Yeah.
And to me, if you're saying these things but your actions are showing otherwise, then maybe you're not that serious. And I haven't done anything with him or anything like that. But he's still actively pursuing me, and it's just a concern for me, because I told him that I spoke to him before about me wanting to meet his friends,
mm-hmm.
and then a couple of weeks later, the opportunity came up again for me to go just to lunch with his friends and things like that. And when I told him that, he asked me if it was okay for him to go hang with these two girls, his two best friends.
And I said, sure, like, we can go. I'd love to meet them. And then he's like, you know what? He's not going to go. He just canceled it and decided not to go. And then when I said, why don't we just go? Like, we can all just go together. It's no problem. He said, oh, the girls just don't want to meet me.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah. See, okay. See again. All right. So, guys, we have our male friends, and usually our male friends have what? Girlfriends. So, again, I don't know the whole situation. I'm just, giving you my advice of how this scenario sounds to me. See, a lot of times when we have our guy friends, they have girlfriends, we'll go out with them, and that girlfriend could be used to our girlfriend, and they have a relationship. So I just want you to look at it from this perspective. That may be what's going on, because if he brings you in and his friend, as males, we're not going to say anything. We're just going to say, oh, okay, you're doing you. But a lot of times we don't bring you in not because of our male friend, but because of our male friends' girlfriends may say, wait a minute. Well, where did she come from? You know that, so I want you to kind of think of that dynamic too. Because, again, we'll show you off to our male friends, even though you might not be the main girlfriend if we're seeing multiple women. Because, guys, we just going to dab each other up and say, hey, man, you're secret cool with me. But sometimes our male friends may have some female friends, and all of us are in one circle, and his girlfriend and my girlfriend are just, may have that type of relationship where they just kind of bond together, and we used to doing things together. So he may not feel comfortable bringing you in because his girlfriend may say, no, I'm going to tell. No, I'm going to tell on your ass. So like I said, I'm not saying that's the situation, but I just want you to, kind of keep your antennas up, because to me, that's what it sounds like to me. And
right, I never thought about it from that perspective.
Yeah, I could be totally wrong, but to me, that's what it sounds like.
And the crazy thing is that he invites me to all his work stuff. So when it comes to his work stuff, that's even like out of state and things like that, he wants me to come. Things locally, he wants me to show up. So when it comes to like his friendships, all of a sudden, like, I don't know, I feel like there's like a separation there. And then I still didn't meet. I feel like me and him were supposed to do brunch one day, and when the day happened for us to do brunch, he basically already had plans to hang with the two girls, two best friends that were his girls that I never met. Yeah. And he ended up lying to me about it. He was like, "Oh, the restaurant's closed, so we're just going to do something different." But he ended up lying to me about that. And then after that, because that's one of my deal breakers, I just kind of like stopped talking to him for about a week or 2 weeks or whatever. And he did the whole thing like, oh, he had a terrible week without me, and he's in therapy, he's seeking counseling, all these different things. And, I was just really kind of like lost with that, because I don't understand. And I asked him, like, why did you lie to me? And he said, oh, he didn't lie. He just misrepresented the truth. Wow. And so,
wow.
It's interesting to me, because to me, that's a big red flag. But in terms of everything else, like, he opens the doors for me. He's very respectful. He pays for everything. If I ever need help with anything, if he comes, he helps put together furniture for me. Mm-hmm. He's a very nice person. Mm-hmm. So I just don't feel comfortable with that one piece. Even for my birthday, like, he showed up and he took me and my mom out for my birthday. So he's met my people, but I haven't met his people.
I got you. I know you said that you've been with him for 6 months. Is this a deal breaker for you, or how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I kind of feel like it's a deal breaker. I feel like it's a deal breaker. He's still in the vetting stage, so we're not exclusive yet. Mm-hmm. But to me, he keeps saying that he wants to, like, make things official and these different things. But to me, I still feel like I don't know if I'm getting the real him.
because
Right.
I still haven't met his friends. And so back of my head, I'm like, I don't know if I can fully trust you yet. And I'm not fit into a relationship with someone that I don't trust yet.
Yeah. 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 I don't
But
blame
he
you.
said
What?
he's working. He's like, I have high standards and I'm making him work and he's willing to do all the things that, that I require. And yeah, my standards are very high. So
Mm-hmm.
I haven't cooked for him. I haven't done anything for him or anything like that. But I don't know.
Mm-hmm. So, do you have like an ultimatum, or are you going to give him? I mean, have you given him like a timeline or a timetable saying, "Well, listen, if I don't meet your friends by X time or X amount of months or weeks, it's over with"? Or how do you feel about that?
I've never done that.
Mm-hmm.
I've never done that. I don't want to be like too pushy because
Yeah.
to me, I feel like I shouldn't be begging to meet your friends. Like the thing that was crazy is like, ended up, be going out with someone else. And 2 weeks in, that guy wanted me to meet his friends and he wanted me to be around, all his core people. And I wasn't even interested in this other guy like that. So maybe I should do an ultimatum. How would I phrase that though, without it sounding like too demanding? Like if I don't
Well, I mean,
meet your friends by this,
you know
I
what?
can see.
That's the only way you can phrase it. Now, I'm not saying that's what you should do. I was just trying to trying to gauge where you are because see, at the end of the day, I'm one of the things I always tell young ladies is see, it's very important for you to guard your heart because
Mhm.
this thing is very, very, very fragile and it's very valuable. And the last thing I want happen is for your heart to get crushed or broken. And like I said, I'm not saying that's the
Right.
situation, but sometimes you gotta, you know, what's the old saying? If it looks like a duck or if it walks like a duck, sometimes you got to start connecting those dots, and if those dots is leading you to a certain conclusion, sometimes you just gotta confront some things and say, listen, we're both adults. Hey, we got to lay all this out on the table. This is how I'm feeling. You know, I feel that, there's some things that you may not be being on the up and up with me about, and we just need to have a heart-to-heart conversation. We need to fix this. We need to fix this. Because if he's truly committed, he's going to see the passion and the desire you have to make this thing work. And so when we see that you're on one level to make this relationship work, you got to make sure that he's on that same level, willing to do whatever to make that relationship work too. Because at the end of the day, it's going to take both of you guys to make this thing work. So that may be a good way
Mhm.
to test and see, is he really committed to making this relationship work? Because if he is, you're supposed to be priority number one. Your needs are supposed to be priority number one. Your concern, see,
Right.
anything that you're concerned about should be his priority to make sure that you address those things. So you got to think about those things, because a lot of times a guy would say, you're the only girl for me, you're my significant other, you're my everything. But if you really are his everything, all your concerns should be addressed, and you should be able to bring all your concerns and problems or situations to him, so you two can sit down and work those things out. I mean, that's just problem
Right.
solve. That's just problem solving 101 to make to help strengthen a relationship.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was trying to think, but I couldn't think about like what other reason. Because he also said that I created a safe space for him, and he can feel like he can tell me anything, and we're really good friends, like we're best friends. So I don't
Yeah.
understand why I haven't met his friends and why he's keeping that separation.
Wow.
And he just be like, oh, like I'm just very very classy, and his friends are a little like ratchet and hip. They listen
Mm-hmm.
to like a different type of music. But to me,
Mm-hmm.
that's not really. To me, I don't think that's a good excuse. He
Mm-hmm.
said he wanted to like fix everything and he wants like all his friends to be like good, everything to be good before I meet them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, it sounds like you got some decisions that you need to make, because at the end of the day, you got to protect your heart, you got to protect your investments, you got to protect your well-being. And again, if this is the man that you consider you are considering having a serious relationship with, he should be
Right.
more than happy to make sure that any concerns that you have are addressed and put those things on the table and make sure that both of you have a understanding of, what's going on in both of you guys' lives and situations. I mean, that should be no problem if you are his number one priority and the relationship is his number one priority.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I should say, if I don't meet your friends like within the next month, then I can't see you anymore.
Well, I mean, I can't tell you what to do. I think that's a good starting point because once again, a relationship is you and him. The hell with the friends and the hell with the family. It's you and him. And if you are his number one priority and he is your number one priority, then you got to be able to have problem solving, be able to solve problems. And it seems like we got a major problem here. And like I said earlier, any man that puts his woman as number one, you're the number one, you're the most valuable thing in my life, you're everything to me. If that's his, if you are that to him, then whatever concerns you have, he should run to address those things to make sure he's putting your mind at ease and not having you wonder.
Right. He said he's willing to do anything to get my trust. He said he's willing to do anything to get my trust. Like, he gave me the password to his phone and everything.
Yeah.
But I still haven't met the people. So that's the only thing that I'm just on hold about.
Yeah.
But thank you so much. This was helpful.
No, thank you, and I appreciate you calling in. And don't be a stranger. You're more than welcome to call anytime, any Monday and Thursday night that I'm on. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
All right, have a good night. All right, I got 9:46 here Central Standard Time. What we got? We got 51 in the chat. Somebody says, Lady Ray, yes. If he has nothing to hide, he'll consider what you've addressed, but you have to see his actions. If not, you have to do what's best for you. That's excellent advice, LC. I agree with you 100%. And let me just throw this out real quickly, too, to the ladies who are listening. The previous caller talked about the guy, her boyfriend, letting her have access to his cell phone. Let me tell you something. There are a lot of guys out there that got burner cell phones too now. There are a lot of guys that got multiple cell phones. They'll have this phone, the main phone, and they'll have one of those little cheap track phones or one of those cheap whatever type of phones, you can just go down to the corner store and get one of the cards filled on it. Family Talk at Walmart for $19 a month and unlimited calls, and hide those phones in the trunk of their cars or somewhere we feel that you'll never check. So you gotta be careful, because sometimes I'm gonna tell you something. See, men, we could do some stupid stuff that we really think we're being transparent. In other words, sometimes we think we're so transparent. We're like, you know what? I'm gonna beat my old lady. I'm gonna beat my girlfriend to the punch. I'm just gonna say, here, baby, you got access to my phone. But sometimes that's a clear indication when we say, hey, go through my phone. We don't care. I don't have nothing to hide. I love you and you only. So just go through my phone. Do whatever you want. But we got that other burner phone hid out somewhere. And that's usually that phone that we contacting our other women on. So again, ladies, sometimes you gotta pay attention to these things, because these cell phones are real cheap, especially those burner phones. You could just load those things up on a monthly basis, those phones with no contract. All right. Somebody said, definitely don't ask for the phone. All right. Somebody said, ask for a cell phone. You picked the wrong man if you ask for a cell phone. All right. Somebody said, London said, what's the other? You know what? the, you London, you just got to think about the last place you would look. Sometimes you may have to go, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be in the house. Okay? 9 times out of 10, if we have that burner phone, it's not going to be in the house or the condominium or the apartment. It's going to be outside somewhere. You know, it could be in the garage. Like I said, it could be in the trunk, you know, where we keep the spare tire or the jack. But 9 times out of 10, it probably won't be in the house because you know, we make dumb mistakes, but I don't think we're that dumb. But you never know when you're dealing with us because we do some dumb stuff as well. Phoenix said it won't. Okay, look at Phoenix. Phoenix said it will be in his work locker. Hey, Phoenix, that's a good point. That's an excellent point, Phoenix. She said it would be in his work locker. I didn't even think about that. But if a man makes me, let's see what Lady Ray said. All right, people, 9:50 my time. Somebody said I found one in the glove compartment. Who was that? S. Scott? She said I found one in the glove compartment. I love it. Let me see. Let me pull this one up. Somebody said I have a lesbian friend that has a whole other phone. Her girl, see? Say that LD advice, several phones. Yes, ma'am, Miss Angie B. All right. Phoenix said, that's why I'm divorced. Yeah. I don't blame you one bit on that, but you know, it's you know, but before I shut it down, I just want to ask, why is there so many games being played today? I mean, what is it that it seems like we can't be honest with one another? I mean, if people want to see other people, I mean, what's wrong with telling someone, hey, listen, I like you, but I want to see other people, and maybe if our connection is strong enough, then maybe we can revisit that and, you know, we can have a committed relationship. But it just seems like so many people that want to see other people but don't want to be honest about they want to see other people, unless I'm just seeing things in the wrong light. Somebody said that's how I got hit in the face for looking in the Knox phone. Wow. What's done in the dark will come to the light. Amen to that. T. Diamond said they would just use WhatsApp or Snapchat. Yep. All right. Somebody said, is it realistic to ask men for monogamy? No, that's definitely not asking too much. No. But the thing of it is, will men actually do it? You know, just date one woman. Can it be done? Oh, yes, indeed. No doubt about it. It can be done. But like I've always said, I'm pretty sure you've been watching my videos. For men, this thing right here has just changed the whole landscape. My goodness. Man, with the dating apps and the, you know, just the different ways in which men can meet women and hook up with women, and it's just a whole nother ball game. As I always say, the most unattractive men are pretty much having their cake and eating it too, just off this cell phone. I mean, men, they don't even have to leave the comforts of their living room couch. Just get on this and go on dating apps and send messages and swipe. And so, yes, can a man be in a monogamous relationship? Yes, he can. But that doggone cell phone, my goodness. And like I said, that's the most unattractive men. Now just think about the pretty boys and the handsome guys. I mean, I don't understand it. You know, men will hit the highway. They don't mind traveling. The phone is, a man could be living in Houston, Texas. His phone is full of contacts with women in Houston, Texas, and the social media is Houston, Texas, and the Tinder, Houston, Texas. He still ain't satisfied. He say, well, I'm gonna hit the women up in Dallas. I'm gonna hit the women up in Austin. I'm gonna hit the women up in San Antonio, and travel to those places too, if someone is willing to hook up and have sex with me. It's a whole different ball game. All right, people. Thank you for your time. I got 9:54. Anika says, beats me. 9:54 my end in Louisiana, so I know it's real late. Thank you we got a 59 in the chat, 37 likes. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Thank you for tuning in. We'll do this Thursday. Once again, 7 o'clock my time, Central Time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Everybody have a good night.